live.
We are. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Thursday evening. That's right, everybody. And if you don't know, we're just going to get this out of the way right now, right? So we don't have to do this any other time during the show. So if you're just tuning in, you're catching it at a perfect time. This is an Xbox right here. We're just going to officially say it. This is an Xbox that you are currently watching us on. So just wanted to let you all know that up front so nobody is confused at all about whether or not you're currently using an Xbox to watch PM in the PM. You are. So appreciate you all being here this evening for another Thursday episode of PM in the PM Pong and Mav in the PM every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time, right here on the Fun Speculation Network. Hope you're all having an absolutely stellar week so far. I also should probably make mention, Mav, that as has been the case throughout this entire year, we are also not only here to tell you that this is an Xbox, but we are also here once again, which has been a monthly occurrence at this point throughout this entire year, maybe even going back into last year. Xbox is dead again. So we're having another funeral for Xbox. Again, the zombie that is Xbox continues to just wander around, and once a month we have to do another funeral and say that we're finally putting this one to rest. But so we're going to talk about all of that because it's been a great week of news. Actually, it's been a fun week of news. Lots of things going on. Mav had to do a Mavcast last night, as always. Mav has appears to have some thorns in his side today with some people and how they react to this news. So I'm sure we might have a little Mav rant. He's been firing himself up all day long, posting on Twitter, getting reactions because he's an engagement whore, as you all know. Mav loves that. But it's going to be a fun show because we do have other things to get into. We got some gaming stuff to get into. Happy launch day of season 1 for all you Call of Duty players as well. I can't wait to hop into that. Today is official season 1, looking good so far. The shop is open for all you I was about to say skinheads, but that's probably what I should not do. Even though that's an old term, but maybe I should do that. But anyways, all you skin junkies in Call of Duty, the shop is now open, and I've already looked at a couple of them because I can't lie, I do like buying skins from there. And happy Dragon Quest 3 HD launch, remake launch day too as well, getting rave reviews this week. So lots of cool stuff coming down the pipeline. We're going to get into it. Anyways, let's get to my co-host, the man who does own the Fun Speculation Network, the CEO himself. That's right. Although he doesn't, I don't know, Mav's not aging. So I don't know if the stress of being CEO of Fun Speculation Network is the same as the stress of being CEO of Microsoft Gaming. But we'll talk to him about that as well and see if he's starting to feel the effects. The one and only Fun Speculation, a.k.a. Mav. What's going on, brother? How the hell you been?
Hey, I've been doing good, man. I don't know why you think I'm bothered today. You think I'm a little upset or a little triggered? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe just a
irritated. It's like a rash. It's more like a rash to you, I think.
It is a rash. It is like a rash. That's a good description. a lot of what's been going on is kind of like a rash. It's a skin disease. But shout out to the chat and everybody for being here. I'm just sitting here among my multiple Xboxes here. I got one in my hand. I got one here. I've been sitting in front of one talking to you guys. I got an actual Xbox over here too. I'm just like surrounded. I used to tell everybody that I got 6 Xboxes in the house. Now I can tell everybody I got like fucking 20, I guess. I don't even know how many I got now. I got to go around the house and take inventory. But a lot of
real quick.
Yeah.
I was just thinking while you were saying that, I mean, Xbox should really lean into this even more. Like, they own the Doom IP, right? And we know Doom can be played on a pregnancy test now. So is that an Xbox as well? Because it can play Doom?
It depends on if it's positive or negative.
Right. That's true too. But okay, well, Samsung fridge, right? We could run it on a Samsung fridge. So that's an Xbox at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Tesla, you can get Game Pass in Teslas. That's an Xbox.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. It is. Tesla, I'd put an Xbox logo on the back of it.
Right. Right.
Well, it's already there, you know? Oh, man. Internet today was fun. It was fun. New advertising from Xbox, right? Yesterday, we had Phil with the red lines comment in the interview that sent, the internet ablaze, followed by today, and this is on the heels when I had just made a tweet, like, a couple days ago. "Man, it's awesome to see how positive the Xbox community's been lately," and then we have this, like, it feels like January again all of a sudden. Maybe it's the cold weather. It's starting to creep in, kind of affects people and stuff, it gets people a little fired up. But, yeah, man, it's been fun, just seeing all these reactions and everything from people. And I mean, the people are upset. They're upset, man, over some stuff, right? But, you know what? I'm not. I'm super happy to be here with everybody in chat, a lot of familiar awesome faces, and, the one and only legendary encyclopedia of gaming dating back to the very first Xbox ever created.
Hmm.
'Cause,
Even though I didn't own one. Let's make that clear.
right. Long soul. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good, man. It's been a hell of a week. Thankful to be here. Yeah, it's been a good one. Again, just have you played anything new, by the way, at all? Or you've been rocking the same?
No, I mean, Metal Slug Tactics.
Yeah, you did try that? Okay, yep. So
Yeah,
did I. So
it's
did I.
really
What
good.
did you think? Yeah, harder than expected.
Yeah, yes.
I was
Yeah,
out the gate kind of hard. I was like, oh, I kind of screwed up.
yeah.
Like I got people dying already in this game, but yeah, interesting. So yeah, I'll talk about that here in a minute. You can add your flavor to it too as well. But yeah, I'm still a filthy console casual this week. Not gonna lie at all. I've been waiting on Call of Duty Season 1, obviously, to pop in. Can't wait to hop into that. I heard too that you actually do get your Modern Warfare 3 double XP carryover. So I didn't use a lot of my double XP for Modern Warfare 3. So I'm going to have a lot of carryover rolling in here. So that's nice. I saw some people posting that today. But yeah, I've been excited about Season 1 hitting. New maps, new weapons, masterwork weapons. Yo, hey, I saw some videos on this one masterwork weapon. Things like got all these animations to it and stuff. Looks absolutely incredible. So I'm looking forward to hopping into Season 1. But otherwise, it's been Diablo for me, obviously, as I've been trying to kind of clear that out. I got to say, is I'm starting to play through more of the Vessel of Hatred stuff, the main missions. I was expecting a little bit more. And I've heard some people talk about the ending, so I'm waiting to see the ending for myself, but I was expecting a little bit more. Not as much cutscenes as I was hoping for, hardly any at all right now. I was hoping to bring, they were going to bring some of that back from, obviously the main story in the first one. I got some early on, but there's been a lot of missions now that really haven't had much to it. So kind of a little bit disappointed, but again, still having a great time with it because overall it's playing very well right now. And I do like some of the new additions to the mode. So been doing that. And then, like you said, Mav, I did, before I hopped into Tactics, Metal Slug Tactics, I did try Spyro. I had to download Spyro and try it because that dropped this week in the Game Pass out of the blue. I haven't played Spyro. Me and the kiddo played the first Spyro and the second Spyro a lot when he was younger. So I haven't played a Spyro in for freaking ever, man. So I had to check it out. Gotta say, it's pretty damn beautiful to get back to a Spyro again. And it looks great. And it feels really good. I was actually having fun with the challenge of trying to clear one of the timed levels where you have to do collect certain things, but you only have so much time, and the gates give you obviously more time. Had a real fun time figuring that out again, the pattern to do to get through that one and get all the collectibles out of that level. So gotta say, it's good to have Spyro in Game Pass, just there if you want to check it out. But I thought I had a pretty good time with it, even though I'm not a platformer guy anymore. I still had fun. It brought back a lot of nostalgia. But yeah, Metal Slug Tactics. I did pop into that for a bit. Like I was just saying, what can I say? It's tactics, but it's got interesting. I love when tactics come, Mav, and they've got interesting
New mechanics.
Yes, yes. Because you actually get bonuses on defense in this game. Because anybody who's played Metal Slug, like the arcades, right? Or whatever system. They're everywhere now. But if you guys remember Metal Slug back in the day, it's a run and gun shooter, right? That's what it is.
Contra.
Yeah, Contra.
Yeah,
That's what it is. It's 2D side based run and gun. So the game is about movement, and they took it down to tactics. So what they did though is the further you actually move your characters in the tactics in your turn, because it's turn based, obviously, the further you move your characters, the bigger the defense bonus you get.
Yep.
Which is super cool. Like I was trying to think if I've played a tactics game that had something like I couldn't remember one that actually gave me a bonus for moving further, like going as far as I possibly could, taking risks, and getting into cover on top of that. But like I said, hard. I was like, oh, because I had already played the demo on Steam during the Steam demo days. I had already done that. So I kind of knew the whole basics up front, the what they were going to run us through. So the training part was easy. Whatever else, I was like, dope. Get to the first level, and like I said, they kind of just throw you into the fire from that point forward. And then all of a sudden, you got to decide where to place your characters to start. And I was like, oh, I got this. Okay, I can see what they're trying to do here. That's fine. I'll place my characters. Yeah, no, big mistakes. Like after my turn, I lost one of my guys right out the gate, and you only have 3, like in the first turn. And I was like, oh, I totally screwed that up. Like completely messed that strategy up. We're going to have to restart again.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love Metal Slug to begin with. I've been a Metal Slug fan for a long ass time. I love just running through them. Of course, when they came out, and I used to play them in the arcades way back in the day. But when they finally started coming to the other systems, you could do unlimited lives and all that kind of stuff. I just loved running through. I loved the artwork. I love the style of Metal Slug. It's just such a cool ass style. So I'm totally into this. I love that Metal Slug Tactics came to Game Pass out of the blue and that I get to play it now. But it's tough. A lot tougher than I thought, Mav.
Yeah.
So you kind of experienced the same thing?
Yeah. I mean, man, one thing that stood out to me is just like the animations for the move sets and like even the enemies, if you may kill an enemy and stuff, like the way they fall and stuff, like just like simple stuff like that. Like they got some humor in there. They got lots of the interesting mechanics with the special abilities too.
You got the combos
using using the environment.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw the one part like you can get in like a tank.
Yes.
And move that around, but you get like more shots if you're in it, like too, so you can like keep firing enemies. Just awesome stuff, man. Like I like when, like you said, like there's new mechanics. It makes you approach this game differently than you would any other tactics game. So for that alone, it's definitely worth playing. And tactics don't need to be the best, like most graphically amazing things or whatever, but this is, I mean, it looks good. Like the retro style
keeps the Metal Slug flavor. That's exactly what it is. It's great.
100%, man. Yeah, I was digging it, dude. This is a game I'll be playing like off and on for like a really long time. So
it's a great part about tactics games and strategy games, Mav. That's why we love them, because we're gonna have them forever. They're gonna be around forever, and they age like fine wine, man. It don't matter. Like you said, they never have to be the most spectacular.
And it's in Game Pass.
And it's a Game Pass right now, so try it out for sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I did spend part of one of my nights making room, Mav.
Yeah.
Because
make lots of room.
The first blow was Stalker 2 coming out at nearly 150 gigs. Yo, I was not expecting that. And I'm looking at my lineup in there, Mav. I'm down to because there's so many big games, because obviously I still have Starfield downloaded, right? I have Diablo downloaded, 2 big games. I have Call of Duty downloaded, even taking out the stuff I don't need. That's still a big ass game in there, right? I got First Descendant still downloaded, right? I got all these big ass freaking games in there that I want to keep downloaded, because I never know when I'm going to get it, bug up my butt to play one of them. There are ones that I want to get back to, or ones that I'm actively playing. And I started looking around. I'm like, holy shit, what am I going to get rid of? I started having to get rid of some other stuff, like, just like your the manas that dropped into Game Pass. I had to get rid of those. But I really had some decision making to do, because I was like, shit, Stalker 2, I wanted to pre-download it, especially after I knew it was 150 gigs. I'm like, well, yeah, I want to get that downloaded. But then I got Flight Sim as well coming.
Yeah, and
And
we know that's going to be big.
that's going to be big too. And I'm not even prepared because we haven't seen how big it is yet. And I'm like, shit, I'm going to have to make more room. I'm going to have to make some really tough decisions about what I'm going to get rid of. I keep saying this every week, Mav, since about halfway through this year. But I'm honestly, and it's got a lot to do with because I got so much other stuff going on right now too that's really kept me busy and my mind's in a lot of different places at one time. But I can't. I'm really overwhelmed at this point with games. Like
Yeah.
I legit am. Like I don't know what to do because I have 100 and some games just sitting there that I legit would like to play at any given moment, and I just obviously don't have the time for that. I can't do it, man. And it's really getting tough for me to make decisions. And then it's just going to keep coming and coming, pause over and over again,
Ooh.
right? It's going to Path of Exile is coming in December.
Yeah.
I saw they're coming out with a video, or they're coming out with a small, I think they're doing a small get together to talk about it because they did delay it into December, but that's coming November the 21st. Well, I saw that video today, Mav, and I was like, oh God, man, there's no way I'm not going to be able to play that game. There's no way. I'm not going to sit on the sidelines for Path of Exile 2. I'm going to be in Path of Exile 2. It's going to replace Diablo. So now I got to finish Vessel of Hatred. Then I've got Flight Sim. Then I've got Stalker 2. Then we have Path of Exile. Not for everybody. That's fine. I'm just talking about myself right now. Indiana Jones dropping. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm at a loss. And there's a billion other games in there too, by the way.
You got to invest in a storage card, Pong.
No, I'm not. I refuse. I refuse.
Two of my Xboxes, I have two of those. And, they come in handy for sure. Like I did notice that Western Digital now has a 2 terabyte one, supposedly for $200. That's still pricey as hell, right? I used to get. You remember back in the day when like PlayStation had like the 8 megabit memory cards for like $35 or whatever, and I was like, this is ridiculous, like 30 something bucks for 8. That's like 2 MP3s.
Oh, the PS Vita was the same way because they had their micro cards, which were only Sony made them, right? They're proprietary, so they were like $50 for like the 256. Like it was crazy. But, joke.
But it's mainly a problem just because of how many games we're getting in a short time span. I will shout out that Call of Duty was smaller than it usually is. Correct. So they've done some great work there. But it's going to continuously kind of get a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger as all these updates keep happening over the course of the seasons for COD. So it's always going to be something you'll have to pay attention to on your hard drive as well, right? But Flight Sim Stalker 2 is beastly. They also released the PC specs for Stalker 2 as well. It's also that I remember they confirmed that was 60 frames on console, right? So or targeting 60 frames or whatever, 60. Right?
Yep.
So it's going to be a good experience no matter where you play as well. And I was noticing the Epic version of the settings was a lot like your PC.
Yep.
So and it close to mine, but a little bit closer to yours. So I was like, I think it was like he's gonna probably really eyes melt when he pops that open on his PC for the first time. But as contrary to belief, Pong and I both still play games a lot on console.
It's been nearly 3 weeks for me. Like I haven't touched my PC except for on podcasts. Like
it's weird when people know you have a PC that's capable of playing games. All of a sudden you're
automatic a PCMR.
Exactly. It doesn't replace comfort and just ease and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's just like, hey, let's pop it on, sit down, go to your game, launch it, you're good to go. Sit on a recliner, bigger screen, all that kind of stuff. And that's why I think Xboxes and consoles are going to be here to stay for at least the near future, right? And it's gonna. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but with the advertising and stuff going on, but it's going to be some interesting things to watch over the coming years for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, Mav, Just because I got a PC doesn't mean I still don't appreciate the console. And again, I'm on record as saying if the next, I believe the next console from Xbox is actually going to be compelling, whatever they're going to do, and I'm going to pick it up. Don't care if I still have my PC and it plays better. I will pick up the Xbox because again, that convenience factor is everything sometimes. And you could sit here and say it's not that big a deal. No. Is it as big a deal as I thought it was before I had a PC? No, it's not. But it's still a whole lot of extra steps. And there are still times where shit just doesn't work, even though it should. And it's just like, yeah, no, man. I just want to pop on my console. Like, bro, like that's all I want to do is just pop it on. So I will continue to be a supporter of consoles for the foreseeable future, especially if they come with something compelling. I have no reason to move or from away from it, just because I can play pretty much everything I can on the PC that I can on the console, and it's going to only get greater. I don't care. I still want that convenience of popping on a console. So I still love it. So, but we'll probably talk more about that as we get into some of this stuff anyways. So yeah, it's been a great week. I hope everybody's been enjoying something, because there is something for everybody out there right freaking now, like a lot of it. So I hope you're all enjoying something. And then again, the end of this year is coming with a flourish, like especially from the Xbox side of things. We're getting an exclamation point on the end of this year. And then it's going to start right into next year again. So we got more announcements, by the way, today too, for some smaller games coming to Game Pass, like Adamfall is going to be coming next March. They confirm March 27th. For anybody who doesn't know, Sniper Elite Resistance, also from the same team, is coming in January. So we will have Sniper Elite Resistance in January, and we will have Adamfall, which is looking totally damn cool. This is one that's been on my radar since we first saw it, in March. And then, of course, we got February, which is absolutely freaking massive.
February is insane,
so,
dude.
January, February, March is already starting to line up, folks, where we're just going to be slammed with stuff. And again, we don't know much about the beginning of January. Maybe the beginning of January will be light, but we're coming off the end of the year with this craziness, so it's not really going to matter. We're going to get to the end of January like quick, and it's going to be like, oh shit, we got more shit dropping now. And then in February, say goodbye. It's over with, man. February's stupid. Man, oh man, what a time to be a gamer, though. God, what a time. Well, let's shout out the chat here, Mav, and then we'll get into some topics, because we got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot. We got to go through another freaking funeral for Xbox. I can't believe it, man. Jesus. Anyways. Huh? What'd you say?
Yep, another funeral.
Another funeral.
Should we bring out Reverend Pong for it?
Oh my God. Reverend Pong would be like overworked at this point for how many funerals he would have had to sermon over. Like this would be nuts at this point, man. Man, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. You can break them out in chat though. Hey, listen, Xbox Gamer, what's going on? He said, I'd hate to buy all those games. That's a fact too, Xbox Gamer. That's the beautiful part about being in this ecosystem and having an Xbox everywhere you are, is because you got Game Pass everywhere you are if you are bought in, and that does save a ton of money. I've already spent enough on other games this year. Holy shit. We got the J-Mo money in here. What's going on, J-Mo? Thanks for being here. We got the Poison Maniac. What's going on, Poison? We got the Jesse James. What's going on? He says Xbox is a casket. Yeah, a casket could probably technically be an Xbox at this point. So that's good. Put a little screen on it. It'll be dope. Ghost Fixer. What's going on? Internet be mad at Xbox every other week. Bro, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we've been talking about. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Ray Ode, what's going on? He says, I'd be surprised if they go after Take-Two. The CMA is going to be even tough. Yeah, Take-Two's. I don't think Take-Two's in the picture at all. I don't. Again, one game. It's a big game. It's a massive IP. I don't think that's what they're going for. Again, Phil made it clear, regionalized, and we'll talk about it. Regionalized is going to be the key word there. Key areas that they need to pick up, which we've speculated on for a long ass time now. But yeah, I don't think Take-Two's in the picture. Matthew Gale, what's going on, brother? Thank you for being here. Sour Blow, what's going on? PlayStation is going to follow too. That's my one little irksome is everybody. And again, we've had those discussions. Oh, man, we'll get into it. I do have a little irksome with a lot of the Xbox community always running with, well, PlayStation's going to follow. Like, why? Like, yeah, I agree with you. But like we've talked about, Mav, it's not going to be in the same time frame as Xbox. They're not flipping the switch like Xbox. So it's going to be down the road. But yes, I agree that PlayStation's going to follow. But why do you guys have to get all your panties up in a bunch and pull out the PlayStation's going to follow? Who cares if PlayStation follows? Who cares? Nobody fucking cares. Nintendo's doing something different, even though they're still technically, I guess you could say, on the old business model, but they are still different from PlayStation and Xbox because they make money off of everything. That's the difference. And they use old tech versus cutting edge tech. So they're even a different business model than Sony. Sony is a hybrid between Xbox and Nintendo right now. And then you got Xbox doing something completely different from the other two. They're all three are doing something different right now. Why do we care if Sony follows suit or not? Why does that make a deal? Why is that why do we get defensive like that in the Xbox community? I don't know.
Because they have to
Weird.
say the other thing is like, Xbox is giving PlayStation games, but PlayStation isn't giving Xbox games.
That's true.
Right? Why
Yeah.
why do we have to give them games if they're not giving us games? It's a gift.
Right. Right. Like we're trading here. Like this is this is business. This is business, everybody. And again, to be fair, we had those conversations for a long ass time. But if you go back and listen to it, most of us said Sony's not going to be doing it like this. They can't. They don't have the ability. They got to play catch up. So yes, we agree that eventually that will happen. But again, it could be a generation and a half, 2 generations from now before they really lean into that.
They don't have the capabilities that Xbox does. Like Microsoft has all the cloud infrastructure. They already got the apps that are more capable than Sony does. They have a PC storefront. They actually have 2. They have 2 PC storefronts. They have Battle.net, which we found out today. Avowed is actually going to go on there.
I have questions, Matt. We're going to bring that up too. I have questions.
That was interesting. I was like, what? Okay.
I have major questions.
So they got actually 2 PC storefronts going. As well as they're putting their games day and date on Steam as well. So like they just have all these things. Like for PlayStation right now, their studios, like they have to go to like Nixus to like a year later get this port finished or something for one of their games. Like Xbox has way more studios. They have all this infrastructure. Sony doesn't have their own cloud. They have to get servers from other bigger companies and stuff. I mean, there's just a million reasons why this is more capable on Xbox than it is PlayStation. So can PlayStation even have the capability to do what Xbox is doing right now?
Right.
No, they don't. Now, so what are they? They have more consoles out there in the market. They are still mainly reliant on that. They're trying to expand beyond it. They've said numerous times that they need to reach more gamers, that the console market is kind of capped out as well for them. Even if it's higher than Xbox, it's not going to grow substantially or anything because it's been the same market pretty much ever since the PS2 generation. So for them, they're looking for other ways to expand too, but it's going to happen at a slower pace.
Yeah, way slower.
It's just like they can't go out there and get ABK and stuff and all these kind of things that Xbox has been doing. So they're tried to do some other things to get some games of service so they can have more recurring revenue and all these other kind of things for some monetization, but they failed with Concord. Helldivers 2 is a successful game, but primarily on PC, as we see that it's not cracking the top 15 on playtime on PlayStation consoles, even though it's like top 5 every week on PC still. There's numerous things that they're trying to do, but they've educated their consumer for one thing. They're kind of beholden to that, and they're slowly trying to get out of that box, right?
Well, and Hiroki just came out again and did confirm that they're in the process of restructuring. Why do you think they're restructuring?
Yeah.
Right? Why do you think it's not just Bungie that they're restructuring, right? It's not just because of Concord failing. They're restructuring because Hiroki sees and has seen for a long time, ever since he got in there and went through the books of all the different devs, right? Before they let Jim walk out of there with cookies. Hiroki knows.
Yeah.
But they got to restructure. They've got to reform PlayStation if they're going to move towards this future. They have more things that they need to do, like Mav is saying. Again, to get day and date, because their devs don't have a lot of experience by doing PC ports, just like they don't have a lot of experience doing multiplayer. That's why they went out and got Nixus, right? Which is one of the best moves they've done, right? Because Nixus is a fantastic PC port company. But they're going to need more Nixus, right? They're going to need to expand Nixus or need more Nixus to keep up, to get their first-party titles over to PC if they're going to start speeding that up, which obviously we all believe that eventually it is going to be day and date. In order to do that, they're going to have people who are experienced with PC porting. So they've got a lot of work to do. Hiroki's restructuring everything. They're going back to the drawing board on their multiplayer games as a service type of strategy, which is obviously completely changed compared to what Jim had lined up for them. Now they still have some more coming out, like Fair Games, etc. We heard that the Horizon multiplayer battle royale might be out next year. Again, Herman, after this, bro, right? After the Lego thing and this multiplayer battle royale, you want to give Horizon a rest for a bit, man? I mean, I know it's your baby, Herman, but bro, you running that thing into the ground. You already have a fan base that isn't 100% behind Horizon, and you are just shoveling it down people's throats, and people are not liking what they're getting so far. Yes, there's fans. Again, I like Horizon personally, but I just, man, oh man, enough with the Horizon, Herman. Go find a new IP to go babysit. Jesus. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna get into a lot of that shit when we start talking about the Xbox stuff. But anyways, Alvin's in here. He dropped a 5 bomb. He said grifters/haters remastering their Xbox is dead takes more than PlayStation is remastering their first party titles. Xbox is Deadpool. Can't kill it. Yeah. Xbox is almost to the point now of too big to fail. They really are. They are to that point now. Again, no matter what way, and again, it's all gonna be your definition of failure. But no matter what, Xbox is gonna be around.
Yeah. So I saw somebody today in one of the comments on one of my posts like say that they won't be surprised if Xbox is just is out of business in 10 years after today.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, I mean, seriously, I mean, these are serious takes. Like I see this stuff, right? I saw somebody else said Xbox isn't even an ecosystem, and I'm like, I keep seeing these takes on some of my like posts, and these people I think are serious, right? Like, I don't know, understand how people think. Like how they can see everything they've been doing, understand what the business is, understand like what the acquisitions they've made, the size of the company now, everything they're doing to grow and expand to different places, all these different things, and say that it's getting smaller.
Sega,
right?
Sega was on the borderline of bankruptcy when they exited the hardware business.
Yeah.
They had nowheres near the publishing, or I should say the IP presence, the dev presence. I shouldn't say IP because back at the time they were huge in the arcades, but they didn't have anywhere near what Xbox currently has. And they survived and are now back flourishing again. Like, Xbox is so much bigger than even Sega was in its heyday. It's never going to die.
Xbox has the #1 game on PlayStation, on an Xbox, on P. Like,
yes.
Like out of the Psychonauts report, like I was talking about how Helldivers 2 didn't even make the list for PlayStation. Guess what? Overwatch 2 did.
Which is crazy. Again, Overwatch is totally done. Everybody says it's a dead game. Nobody's playing it anymore.
It got played more on PlayStation than Destiny.
It was number 11 on Xbox too.
So you think about, oh wait, you mean that's yeah, it's Xbox. They own that stuff now. Like I don't understand like how people can see the amount of time people are spending playing games, the amount of users in the ecosystem, the amount of people that are subscribed to Game Pass that pay monthly for this stuff, even the amount of console users there are, all these other kind of things, and actually think that there is actually some kind of realm of reason that they're gonna just disappear in some kind of a weird way. But and I got to tell you why I think it is. It's pride and emotion and feeling, right?
Hmm.
Like a lot of gamers, I think, are just so tied up into this idea that we've been living in for so long, and what made the console special, and what was the reason to be a gamer in that ecosystem was all about one thing for them, right? And it was used to argue what's better than this and what's better than that. And it's like, well, you're making the competition that we used to criticize and have these wars with better, but you're not getting anything back. So that the pride's hurt, right? The pride's hurt. But the problem with that is none of that is actually focusing on the experience of you as a consumer in that ecosystem.
Right.
None of those feelings are actually considering what you were doing, what you were playing, how you're going to access your games, the value you're getting. And if you actually stop and think about it and pay attention to everything that they're doing for an actual consumer, which is you yourself, the person that should matter the most in the games that you play, it's only getting better. But it the pride is hurt, right? The pride is hurt. You took things and you gave it to the guy that I used to fight with, right? We used to argue with this guy over there. You went and took some of my toys away, and you saying I have to share? You have to share with my neighbor asshole bully that's been bullying me for years? That feels bad. I don't like that, Dad. But like, hey, you mean I actually get more toys? I get to play more things, and I get like, okay, what is all these rewards I'm getting for doing this? I'm not paying attention to that. I don't care. Screw that guy. Like it's a pride, it's a feeling, it's emotion thing. And if people could actually find a way to like step outside of that and just pay attention to your own experience and what you're doing and how you're accessing and how you're playing, nothing's changing except for actually giving you more value as a consumer for your own purchases and actually your subscription with the amount of games we're getting and all these other kind of things. But it's not the world we live in. That's people want the bragging rights,
Hmm.
right?
Oh yeah, for
So
sure. That's what a lot of
we
people
also
think.
got a $2 super chat here from the one and only Sith Lord, the man who goes
Yes,
out there and shouts out
huge support.
everybody
Love him.
every day on social
Love you, brother.
media. Says, "Hey, check out all these shows." He's absolutely awesome guy. $2 says, "Keep up the great work, Mav and Pong. Love you guys. Hey, love you too, Sith.
Love you,
Have a
brother.
good one."
Absolutely. Froggy T, right? I see you dropping in here. What's going on? He says, can't forget the console war stuff was encouraged by platform holders not long ago. Yeah, sure.
For
There
sure, as
was
marketing.
some of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Again, the rivalries are everywhere. Like again, you take the sports analogy, of course.
yeah,
NFL promotes the rivalries too, right? Again, that's a part of it. But there are things that go too far. But to Matt's point, again, that is a certain mentality that continues to flourish and take over, even when things are changing, that some people just cannot let go. It's something I talked about early on when I used to rant all the time about console warring. The ego. It's ego based. Your whole identity is based around a plastic box, and that's how you take things. Even when the facts are building against your own narrative, you're just gonna hold on, man, and you're just gonna be like, nope, I deny it all. And just continue to do what feeds your ego, because you can't admit that, hey, maybe things are changing, but that's all right. Again, it is what it is. Whatever. We're going in a direction, and you're getting pulled along whether you like it or not. You're gonna have to make decisions one way or the other. Anyways, who else we got? We got the big Mad Mo in here. He says this is an Xbox. Yes, Big Mad Mo. I made that announcement early when we first got started that this is an Xbox you are watching me and Mav on right now. Welcome everybody watching Xbox. Jago 6 is in the house. What's going on, Jago 6? We got my two in here. What's going on, my two? We got the Buzz in here. What's going on, Buzz? Great to see you as well. Who else we got in here? We got the Masshole 1977 in here. What's going on, Masshole? We got Timmy. It's Timmy's in here. What's going on? It's Timmy. Great to see you, brother, as always. Thanks for being a part of the show. We got James Thomas in here. What's going on, James? Said MLB on Game Pass the past 3 years and counting. Yeah, thanks to the MLB themselves for threatening Sony and saying, yeah, do you want the license or not? So it is a beautiful thing. And Phil going, yes, please. I would like permanent Game Pass availability for MLB. What's that going to cost me? And he paid up. So it's one of the big promises that people forget that he kept, because he told a lot of people on a lot of Xbox fans that he was going to get baseball back on Xbox, and he did. And not only did he do that, but he paid for the Game Pass stuff, which looks like it's going to be forever at this point. I don't think we're going to not have it on there. I'd be surprised if he took it away. Serve, what's going on, Serve? We got that Nate Dog says emotional that exclusives are going away and times are changing. And again, I don't blame people for being upset either. That's the other thing. I went through it with Sega, so I don't blame people. I understand people's anger and frustration. I understand all of it. It can be upsetting when you've supported a console, an ecosystem, a certain company for as long as you have, and they go against everything that you liked about it. They go against, again, exclusives to people in my generation, especially, right? Gen X, a little bit younger. That's what we knew. That's what separated all the companies from each other, right? Not just the consoles, not just the tech, because again, back in the day, the tech was all different too. But it was, what exclusives are you bringing that I can play that my buddy doesn't have on his system? That's why we used to trade systems back in the day, right? So it is hard to let go of that. And like I've said, I don't agree with this. I'd be fighting toe to toe with Sony all the way through if I was Phil. Right? That's it. I would be more Peter Moore than Phil by a long shot. I don't care what the numbers say. I would be battling, but that's not what they're doing. It's not what they're doing at all. So you just got to be realistic with it. And you got to realize that they're not going to change course. They're Microsoft, they're Xbox. This is $1 trillion, $1 billion companies. They ain't reversing course for nobody. They're going to do what they're going to do. And they started this again. ABK accelerated it. So here we are. So but I do feel you. Again, I don't get upset with the people who are out here getting mad. Like I don't, right? I understand. It's tough to take sometimes. Blaze, what's going on here? Blaze RPT, thank you for being on. He says Xbox has lied to us. Again, if you feel that, got to make choices. You have a choice as a consumer. It sucks, right? And you can certainly speak your mind about it, but companies will never tell you the truth. Companies aren't your friends. They never are, man. Never. Not even Nintendo is Nintendo's fans, okay? At all. These companies lie. These companies are here for one thing, and it's money, and it's money. That's it. That's the only reason why we have a video game industry, is because there is money behind it, right? Or at least an industry this big. We certainly could go back to the old days, and potentially there'd be a couple companies like Nintendo that certainly found a way to make a lot of money. But for the most part, it's only because of the ridiculous amounts of cash behind this industry that we have what we have now. So yeah, no, all these companies are going to lie to your ass. 1,000%.
You want to guess what they're going to do? Follow where your guess is that the money is.
Yep, right. And again, Sony's telling their fans, Sony's prepping their fans, right? Sony has been prepping their fans for a very long time. Their fans are doing the same shit, right? Their fanboys are doing the same shit every time that another one of the myths that they have about Sony and what they're not going to do. Every time that actually happens, they move the goalposts yet again, right? They move the goalpost. Oh yeah, but it's still not day and date. But it's still not day and date on PC. So they do the same bullshit. But Sony's prepping their fans, right? Again, they're going to hang on for longer than Xbox because they have to. But everything they've been saying lines up exactly with what has been going on throughout the industry and what everybody's talking about. Got to go find more money if you want to keep having these giant single player experiences that are one and dones like Sony loves. You have to go find the money to back up the rest of the time while those games are being made and bring in a cash flow to the ecosystem so that they can maintain those dev teams and grow their business, because they don't want to remain the same size either. Sony does not want to be capped. They want to go after the bigger piece of the pie too. So they're telling everybody, just people don't want to listen. It's fine. Trebo 408, what's going on? I see you in here, brother. Thank you for dropping in here. Vince C is in here. What's going on? I don't know if you want to just go by Vince or Vinci, but either way, man, thank you for being in here. Appreciate it. ABK is printing billions of dollars for Xbox. Xbox is going nowhere. Exactly, brother. It's amazing when you look at those numbers and people are like, oh yeah, they're totally dead. No, they're not. Tents Games, what's going on? Great to see you as well. Who else we got in here? Bum, bum, bum. Snooky Jackson's in the house. What's up, Snooky? Always great to see you, brother. Mr. Nichols is in the house. What's going on, Nichols? We got E Ranks, of course, dropping on in here. E, always great to see you. We got Pac-Man B in here. What's going on? He says PS5, this is an Xbox. Eventually, potentially, it could be. I saw that floating around all day today too, as well. It was funny as hell. Who else we got in here? Let's see. I think I got everybody up the top. I got just James. Thank you for being Nathan Hardman. I see you in here. What's going on, Nathan? Played 24 hours in Nuketown. Jeez.
Wow.
Like legit 24 hours, Nathan?
Did you go to like straight or?
Yeah. No sleep? Because damn. Good for you, man. Good for you. Why So Serious is in the house. What's going on? Why So Serious? Thank you for being here. As always, brother, greatly appreciate you joining the show. Thatch, what's going on, Thatch? Great to see you in here as well, sir. Lewis, Jose is in the house. What's going on? Lewis, thanks for stopping in and saying hi. Oh, Mr. Waffles is in the house. What's going on, Mr. Waffles? Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you. We've got the Ninja Squirrel 30 in the house. Squirrels are one of my favorite animals, man. Thank you for that. Appreciate you dropping by. Oscar Emilio A. Gonzalez is here. One of my favorite names to shout out. Oscar, always awesome to have you joining us, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The brother from another, Psychonauts, is in the house. He said, I played Dragon Quest 3 last night and today. Man, Psychonauts is like the JRPG king of the Fun Spec fam.
Yeah.
Like, he really is. Like, Mav and I both have played
a little
ton,
jealous, honestly.
And
he actually finished Unicorn Overlord, bro.
Which is crazy impressive. Because that's a long ass game. So Psychonauts, I hope you're enjoying it. You're gonna have to drop a little note on whether or not you like Dragon Quest, how it's playing so far. I know it's gotten rave reviews, so everybody's happy with it. So
that's another one that's in the Xbox anywhere thing, right? Oh my gosh, that's such a horrible thing.
Well, Phil alluded that to in his interview too, that he's seeing a future where that's going to be more of the norm than not. So,
there's a reason why, and we'll get into that.
We'll get
in a little bit too.
Yep, we will. Wilfrey Rosario, what's going on? Wilfrey says, I'm addicted to New World Atarium. Catch myself chopping trees for an hour. I wish I had the time. I wish I had the time to do MMOs. I wish I had the time. I don't at all, but I'd love to jump into New World and check it out. Know a lot of people have been saying it's playing great. Oh man, there's just so many games right now, man. Just so many games. I'm so sad that I can't hop into all these. Who else we got in here? Of course, it just refreshed, so therefore I'm going to lose my spot. Yep, I lost my spot. I can't scroll back any further. Can I? No, I can't. Let me see here. Who else we got? Oh, I know who let's see. We got Depka in the house. What's going on, Depka? I see you again. Thanks for all the beautiful pictures you post on X, sir. We got the Xbox Best Box. What's going on? Thank you for being here as well. We got the Fuzzy Tomato, not the Fuzzy Belvedere, but the Fuzzy Tomato is in the house. What's going on, Fuzzy? Thank you so much for joining the show. Appreciate you as always. We got the Void Rat in the house. What's going on, Void? Great to see you as well. I think I got Serve already. Yeah, Serve, I got you, but you can have a second one there. Second helping. Shout out. Let's see. Got Sour Blow. Yes, we got the Silver Lab Guy. What's going on, Silver Lab Guy? Thank you so much for dropping in here. Appreciate you. We got the Nam Omar in the house, of course. We got the Cyber Gunter. What's going on, brother? Great to see you as well. The Xbox Gear Store has merchandise with the this is an Xbox or this is not an Xbox.
Yeah,
you can go to the
okay. I like the commercial. I don't mind the commercial whatsoever. Like some of the like marketing behind it's a little funny.
It's a little weird. Yeah, it's a little funny. It's a little whatever. It's again different generations. I don't know. Like I don't know where sometimes where they come up with this stuff. But anyways, Mike Series X Sperling says, "What's up, gentlemen? What is up to you, sir? Thank you for dropping in here and saying hi to us." Shane G's in the house. What's going on? Shane G says, "Phil, Rolling Stone interview just dropped. Mostly the same, but threw shade on PS5 Pro. Said we don't need to do those incremental changes as a company. LOL." Okay.
The other thing, I just shared it in our DMs too,
Okay.
so we can go over it a little bit.
Yeah.
But the other main thing, it's even on the headline,
Yeah.
like for Rolling Stone, is that he confirms that there will definitely be future consoles.
Okay.
That's the number one thing I see. Everybody is like, "Oh, yeah, they're not going to make any more." Like, there's several people that just believe this and stuff, and like they keep saying it time and time again, and all this kind of stuff, right? Somebody in the YouTube comments, I was commenting on my Mavcast thing last night, saying that like there won't be. He was like, show me a link where any Xbox executive said they're working on next gen consoles.
What?
And I was like, so I sent like 10 links.
Yeah.
So this article drops today too. It's like Rolling Stone. That's the actual headline.
How can you be that out of touch? Like, how can you be in this community?
These people, man, like they actually believe this. I mean, there's people that actually podcast and actually supposedly follow news and information and stuff that actually believe this. It doesn't make mathematical sense business wise because of money for Microsoft to do that. And there's like a million reasons why. Anyway, I'll let you finish your shout out.
Okay.
I got to get into that.
Yeah, that's fine. We will get into that right just shortly here because we're almost done. We had the one and only, the brother from another, the man who is causing all of these problems across the entire industry. Right? There's one single man, a single linchpin in all of the issues that we're having in the video game industry. And that man has a name, and his name is 3-Bit. That's right, everybody. 3-Bit's in here, the problem child. Go ahead, blame him for everything because he is the problem. Dreadpool's in here. Choo-choo!
Look at me, I'm 3-Bit. I'm the conductor. This is fun. Choo-choo, choo-choo.
What the fuck is that? Where'd you do that? What is that?
It's 3-Bit. Huh?
Look at me, I'm 3-Bit. I'm the conductor. This is fun. Choo-choo, choo-choo.
Not 3-Bit.
It's 3-Bit.
It's not 3-Bit.
It's 3-Bit.
It's close, but he didn't do that voice. I know he didn't.
Well.
I thought you were trying to claim that it was 3-Bit that did the voice. I was like, okay, no. No, he did not do that. Oh, shit, that's good shit. BT Maverick 707, what's going on, BT? Right before we did the whole choo-choo thing, I did say shout out to Dreadpool. Great to see you, brother. Been a minute, sir. Thank you for dropping in here. Appreciate it a lot. Yes, Nate Dogg, throw those tomatoes at 3-Bit. He always loves that shit. All right. Thank you all for being here. Again, on a beautiful Thursday night. Let's get down to some business here. Dion Hayes, what's going on? I see you dropping in here late. Just catching the end of my shout out to the chat. Shout out to Dion. Appreciate you dropping in here, brother. Says, what's up, Xbox family? It seems Xbox is like the Undertaker. It just keeps rising up from the dead and telling PlayStation, rest in peace. Yeah, it's a zombie, man. They can't kill it. They keep trying. They keep claiming that it's dead, but it's not. All right, Mav, you want to start right away with the Rolling Stone interview, the latest one?
Yeah, I guess we can.
Yeah, since you started your rant, and we can get right into it. So, let's see if I can. Okay, good. It's not behind a paywall. I didn't know if it was behind a paywall or not. Okay, so I guess this just dropped. Shout out to Shane G for shouting out in the chat, and shout out for Mav for dropping the DMs here. So Xbox CEO says there will definitely be future consoles. Although the company's new ads emphasize cloud streaming, CEO Phil Spencer tells Rolling Stone there will still be a box to buy. This is by Christopher Cruz. Shout out to Christopher Cruz over at the Stone. It appears that Xbox is no longer just a box. Been a while, Christopher Cruz, but welcome. Earlier today, the company's official accounts ran a new 30-second ad spot showcasing the brand's new campaign messaging. This is an Xbox. To the sound of Black Sheep's 1991 hip-hop track, The Choice Is Yours. The video begins with a Series X console and the bold green text reading, "This is an Xbox." It then pivots to a smart TV, a phone, a handheld PC, and a laptop, all of which are now considered Xboxes. On the surface, the campaign makes total sense. Xbox Cloud Gaming launched in 2019, and Xbox games have been available on PC for even longer. If players have an Xbox account, they can stream their purchased games or the Xbox Game Pass library on a variety of devices anywhere they have high-speed internet connection. So why are people concerned about the messaging? On social media, many fans have expressed displeasure at the idea that Xbox is somehow abandoning the home console market. It's true that this generation of hardware, which is led by the Xbox Series X and less powerful Series S, hasn't been a huge success for Microsoft, with reports in May indicating that the Sony PlayStation 5 had been outselling Xbox consoles nearly 5-1. Okay, in certain areas, but we're not that big a deficit here. Okay, 65,000 to what, about 30 or 65 million to about 30 million. It's not quite 5-1 there, but anyways, many have declared that the console wars are over, referring to the old nomenclature for the rivalry between companies like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft that swept up much of the internet discourse in the 2000s. But is Xbox really sunsetting its console market in favor of cloud gaming? The answer is no. But it's more complicated than that. Rolling Stone recently met up with the Xbox CEO Phil Spencer in New York to discuss the future of the brand, where he touched on the themes behind the campaign ahead of its official launch. It's an interesting topic. Quote, "It's an interesting topic because as we look at the brand, as we are changing the brand, it means something different," Spencer said. It literally was a box when it first launched. It was the Direct X box. That it's grown into, what it's grown into now is more accessibility. Xbox isn't just one device. Xbox is on your smart TV, Xbox is on your PC, Xbox is on your phone, and we're in the middle of that transition. To his credit, Spencer knows very well that some fans would ultimately be turned off by the campaign, having said that some people long for the simplicity of a single box, single platform, single game, but also noted that today's largest games are bigger than any of the individual platforms. Spencer has spent essentially his entire career at Microsoft and Xbox, beginning as an intern in 1988 and moving to the Xbox team during its launch in 2001. Knowing the company's past, he believes that the DNA of Xbox remains the same even as the company evolves. I think the thing that should really have longevity are the games, characters, and world, and the platform should enable us to experience those games where we want to play. That's how we think about Xbox today. The number of games Xbox has for those platforms have increased substantially since its acquisition of both ZeniMax Media and in 2021 and Activision Blizzard in 2023. In 3 short years, the industry saw a big shift with properties like the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, World of Warcraft, Diablo, and the juggernaut Call of Duty franchise now belonging to Microsoft. But the company has enforced most of its games to remain exclusive, allowing cross-platform launches and support on day one for many or staggered releases, with games like the upcoming Indiana Jones and the Great Circle arriving on PlayStation 5 a few months after its Xbox and PC debut. But even with the acquisitions, it hasn't been an entirely smooth road, with high-profile games like Redfall, Starfield, and Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 arriving to tepid reception from fans and critics. Okay, really?
Tepid reception.
Come on, man. Come on, Chris. Chris, come on.
Tepid. Where have we heard that word before? Who was it? Somebody used that same word for one of the other Xbox releases. It said tepid.
It was probably Drang, but I don't know.
It may have been. I can't remember.
I don't remember either. But anyways, let's calm down here, Chris. Okay, it's not those haven't all received tepid. It's fine for Redfall. You could say it was tepid for Redfall. That's fine. But Starfield and Hellblade 2, come on. I don't think I'd use the same term for those. But anyways, although sales for Starfield were initially strong, the game's player base has waned even with the recently released Shattered Space expansion. Single player game.
Single player
RPG, bro. Single player.
Oh man. Anyway.
Anyways, the weak performance of these I can't even do this, bro. The weak performance of these 13 million, 15 million for Starfield. It's totally weak, bro. Okay. The weak performance for these first-party titles and the continued support of other platforms has only stoked the fire for players who say Xbox will soon drop out of the console game. Speaking about consoles, Spencer said that he loves that people are buying Xbox hardware, but notes that isn't a growth market. No. Quote, our biggest growth is Xbox players is on PC and cloud, he said. The console space all up isn't growing across all of them. We love those customers, but in terms of continuing to expand and grow Xbox, it's about PC, it's about cloud, and it's about making our games more available in more places. I got issues with anyways. In regard to whether the company's emphasis on cloud streaming and anywhere devices means that they will cease developing new home consoles, Spencer has a definitive answer. Quote, we'll definitely do more consoles in the future and other devices, end quote. Once again, for everybody in the back of this chat, quote, we'll definitely do more consoles in the future and other devices, end quote. Okay, done. Those other devices are likely to include a mobile version of Xbox hardware to compete with the booming handheld PC trend that's taken off over the last few years with systems like the Asus ROG Ally, which Spencer himself plays on, and Valve's Steam Deck. These handheld versions of PCs are often Windows-based, meaning they're still running in Microsoft's ecosystem and allow players to play Xbox games on the go with seamless transition between their home consoles and PCs using cloud storage for their saved data. During the conversation, Spencer alludes multiple times to wanting to create a handheld Xbox, a detail he later confirmed with Bloomberg. Asked about whether there will be a mid-cycle hardware refresh like Sony has with the recently released PlayStation 5 Pro, he doesn't give a clear answer, but implies that it isn't necessary given the diminishing returns developers are seeing with increased horsepower. Quote, we think about hardware that can create unique value for our players or creators on our platforms, he said. We don't need to do incremental hardware for our own benefit. Does a new device really...
That's a shot.
It is a shot. Does a new device really give you a unique experience on screen in some way? It's less like the old days going from the original Xbox to 360. That was standard definition to high definition. Now it's harder to show those benefits. For Spencer, the legacy of Xbox is top of mind and how the brand continues to evolve in the future. Xbox cloud gaming is at the heart of that mission. The DNA of Xbox needs to remain more than just a streaming service and software library. Quote, we are trying to expand. What does an Xbox mean? I want Xbox to be something 20 years from now, he said. I think in order for Xbox to be vibrant, be successful, it needs to be about multiple pieces of hardware, end quote. And that's the end of the article. Don't normally read a whole article, but I had not read that one because obviously this dropped, even though it sounds like this interview was actually done before the Bloomberg because they referenced the Bloomberg as afterwards. So anyways, they just published this, so I hadn't seen it yet. So I wanted to go through the whole thing just to get context as well. Okay, Mav. Again, outside of the glaring weaknesses in the article itself, with some
like just the little things that they threw in there about, you know, adjectives, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That was interesting, but besides that,
right? Doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, quintupling down. I don't know where you want to go, septupling down. We can keep going, I guess. On hardware, yet again, for anybody who still misunderstood that Xbox is not going to stop producing hardware. Obviously making it clear that the vision is at this point and will be moving the ecosystem to as many devices as humanly freaking possible, right? And we can kind of wrap into the Bloomberg interview too here, Mav, as far as the handheld goes. They didn't talk about here in Rolling Stone, but obviously the Bloomberg article did confirm how Spencer said that they, basically they are doing a handheld, but it is years away. So all of our speculation about the handheld being announced this year, coming out soon, handheld coming out before the next box, that's kind of all dust in the wind at this point. Phil put that to rest, which was kind of shocking to me, kind of surprising, even though I wasn't 100% sure they were going to get out a handheld early. Still, the way he said it, Matt, made us think that it's going to be probably 27, 28, somewhere in that neighborhood before they actually have the handheld ready. So, Matt, you read both articles, right? Now we read through this one, Rolling Stone. Phil can't be any more clear with the vision. There can't be any, there's no more hiding stuff out here again with the Bloomberg article. You know, he confirmed that there's no red line, the famous quote this week as well. On any game, there's nothing that says and any of the IP can't go somewhere. He didn't say it is going to go somewhere. He said it was too early for Halo to decide on, right? But come on. This is something we've been talking about, man, right? This is not corporate speak. This is not CEO speak. This is not Phil giving us 4D chess and playing games with everybody and hidden meetings in his words. They're telling you straight up what the future of Xbox is going to look like. And it is exactly what their ad campaign was today. That every device at some point down the road, they want every single electronic device possible to be an access point for an Xbox, which to them means that device is an Xbox. That's the whole ad.
Yeah.
Now, you could disagree with that terminology. I saw plenty of people getting literal with this stuff and going, no, it's literally still a phone. No, it's literally still a Steam Deck. This is advertising. This is marketing, folks. Okay. The tagline, this is an Xbox.
If you actually took your phone out of your pocket, like, what? What the
phone
hell?
just turned into an Xbox.
Oh my God. Is it really?
It's a Samsung Xbox. Samsung's making Xboxes now. Listen, we understand the concept. We know what they're going for. There is no more blurred lines. There is no more questions about what is going to happen. It's only going to be a matter of when. It's not a matter of if anymore. Okay? And I'm not saying that next year they announce the whole slate. That doesn't have to happen either. They can still play, the shell game with their games for a while. They can still move them around. They can still keep a couple here exclusive for a while. Like, hey, we're going to keep this one exclusive. Okay, 2 years from now, all of a sudden we come out and say, oh, we're putting that over PlayStation. You can have another game come out and be like, oh, it's on PlayStation day and date. They can still do that to entice people to, if they think it's going to be beneficial. But Mav, again, I'm going to get carried away because I talk about this shit forever. Anyways, between these two articles this week, Mav, obviously just reading the Rolling Stone now. You had your Mav cast last night. You've been picking at people. You've been scratching at people today.
Picking at people?
Yeah, you have. They're a rash to you. So you've been picking at people because of the response, again, out here in the community, by some in the community, right? That is over the top. That is, whatever. Xbox is dead, or I'm leaving Xbox. Xbox lied. Xbox is not going to make any more hardware. All the responses that we've been through now many, many times this year. What's your thoughts right now, Mav? You're hearing that Rolling Stone article, Phil quadrupling down on hardware yet again. Where are you at, man? Where are you at?
Oh, I got a lot to say on this. Real quick first, though.
Yeah.
The one and only King David, Xbox Frontline himself, gave us a very generous $5 super chat. Says, love you guys, TTS. He also made a prediction, and as we all know, he's 98% accurate. So I give this he's 98% right 100% of the time.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So he said November 2026 for the handhelds in the chat.
Okay. So 2 years.
Yeah. We'll see.
I like it. I like it. I mean, I've been on board with the box too in 2026, so we'll see if that happens. But King, I love it, man, and appreciate you dropping in here, brother. A lot, man. Love you too, man.
Man,
I know you're always lurking. So appreciate you.
Man, so first off, I mean, there was the reactions yesterday, right? And I knew based on when he said that there's no red line that was going to cause a reaction.
Of course.
More so, it's something we've already been told before as well.
Insiders don't know shit, Mav.
So this is kind of the thing. It doesn't necessarily mean all at once everything is gone and all this other kind of stuff. It doesn't mean Xbox consoles are going to go away. It doesn't mean less third-party support for Xbox. It doesn't mean any of that shit. All it means is that they will consider any game potentially for this. And I think on the merits of that specific game and what it can do or what it isn't going to do, that they will make that decision. Over time, they will do more. And that was pretty much, for me, when something I said early on after they purchased ABK is like, over time, after they acquire Call of Duty and all these other games, and they have all these other multi-platform games and stuff, as they become more part of the identity of what Xbox is, at that point, all the money guys and all these people are going to say like, well, why aren't we doing this with those other games, right? And what I didn't expect is it to happen as soon as it is, but I think what they decided to do was they hit the accelerator on a lot of this as soon as ABK closed, and they just said, let's just go full go on this and let's hit the ground running. They've been battling with Apple and Android and or Google behind the scenes, all these other kind of things, trying to work on storefronts, and they're still working out the kinks on getting the mobile stuff 100% incorporated. The game ownership for the cloud is coming as well. So the whole thing about Xbox exclusivity, Xbox not being what it was, all this other kind of stuff. I personally, for me, my experience has gotten better as a gamer. I don't get the emotional feels over that about other people getting to play games hurting me whatsoever, personally, right? I get if you do, that's fine. You have a right to be upset over whatever makes you upset. But I still encourage people to actually think about your own experience and how the value you're getting as a consumer, as a customer, and the experience that you like, and choose that first, no matter what it is. A lot of these people I see that are making claims, well, I'm just gonna buy a PlayStation now because they're gonna have all the games and stuff. Well, these same people have said that the games suck ass over there for years. They're saying they ain't interested in all those games that they've been making for all these years. They're saying they don't like the hardware. They're saying they don't like the controller. They're saying they don't like all this stuff. So all of a sudden, because Xbox puts some games over there and are going to increase and put more, you're going to go play on a piece of hardware that you like less. You don't like the controller as much, that you're going to spend more on the games that you do love and get less of them. How does that make any damn sense? Think logically for yourself. For a lot of these people keep saying this stuff, I just gotta ask, why? Why do you actually consider doing this? Froggy says my mic's still peaking. Thanks, bro. I just turned down the gain a little bit. Hopefully it fixes. Overall, you have to think about yourself as a customer and what you're getting. Look at all the games we're getting this holiday season. Can you play it on your Xbox? Can you play it on your console? Can you play it in Game Pass day and date? Do you get cross buy? Do you get cross progression? Do you get all that stuff? Yes, you do. You get all of that in the Xbox ecosystem, which is unique to the ecosystem as opposed to the others. So why would you all of a sudden say, I don't need that anymore, which I've been praising and hyping up ever since the Xbox One generation when they started implementing this stuff, to say no longer it matters. Now I'm going to go and abandon all that stuff just because somebody else can play the same game and pay more for it? That's fine. You do you, right? I'm going to sit my ass right here, play on my console, play on the PC. I'll play cloud on my phone or on my tablet, and I'll enjoy the extra benefits I'm getting as a customer in the Xbox ecosystem. Because for me, I look at all this stuff as added features and added value. The other thing, Play Anywhere was something that happened a long time ago. It's something we've already known about. It's something that's been praised by all these podcasters and all these people in the community talking about how it's awesome, and it's been used time and time again, saying, well, trying to explain to people how Xbox is more than just a console. Xbox is on PC. Xbox is on the cloud. Xbox is all these different places. Xbox is more than just a box. And people have been trying to explain this in the community that are Xbox fans for years. For years. Anytime console sales get brought up and people will be like, well, PlayStation sells more than Xbox. Who needs an Xbox? Who cares about Xbox? People say, well, Xbox is more than just the box. It's just the console is one part of the ecosystem. It's one pillar of the ecosystem. It's one thing. All these people I've seen praising and talking about this as a way to actually explain to people what Xbox is doing. Now, today, the second they actually have an advertisement that actually showcases this very same thing, except they changed the name to Everywhere, and they've expanded it, and they're planning on doing even more and giving us more access to our games in more different places. all of a sudden it's too much? What was it? The phone? What was it on the commercial that actually triggered you so much to where you're saying this is too much? We can't play. We can't put our games there as well. I remember all the shit that happened with Crap Gamer before when he freaked out and Phil even went after him, criticizing him for saying, "What, you're upset that other people get to play games?" Now I see tons and tons of Xbox gamers upset for the advertisement that just says people can play Xbox games on their fucking phones, on their tablets, on their PCs, on their laptops. This is something that's already existed. It's a new marketing push to actually drive home what it is to people so those conversations can finally fucking die. But at the heart of all these people, what matters is not any of that. We find out truly it was only about the console war all along. Because the second they see advertising that again that diminishes their idea that Xbox is less about the console, all of a sudden, well, they've abandoned us. Fuck, not me. Why would I feel that way when they're giving me more? When all these acquisitions that they're making, they're actually putting the games day and date into Game Pass. The same people that are PlayStation are sitting there playing these same games and paying more money for them. Why would I decide to make that choice when that wasn't where I don't like their games anyway? Right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. If every PlayStation game you love and you only like a couple of Xbox games, whatever, yeah, go for it. Play on what you actually prefer. But for everybody saying they're just like gonna drop it because of this ad, because other people get to play your games, ask yourself how it actually affects you except for your pride. How does it actually affect you except for your pride? The bragging rights that you have about we have this and you don't. What you should be saying is we have dual entitlement, we have cross progression, we have Game Pass day and date games. We have free cloud saves. We have a better overall ecosystem that has more access into more places. Can PlayStation users do all that shit that they just showed in that ad today? No. That's an extra benefit and value as a consumer in the Xbox ecosystem. What people should say is, I want that too. Why, if I'm playing in the PlayStation ecosystem or Nintendo or wherever else, can I not do that? I want to do that. If I buy a game, I want to be able to access it from my phone, from my PC, from everywhere else. That sounds fucking amazing. Holy shit. That's like epic value for anything that I buy or anything in my Game Pass subscription that I'm getting already anyways, day and date. What people should be doing is saying, hey, I want you to do that. But no, it's all about the bragging rights. It's all about the pride. I'm going to sit here and play the fucking games, relish in everything that's added to my subscription that I get extra value for. I'm going to play something like Metaphor ReFantazio on my PC and on my console. I'm going to play something like Dragon Quest 2 HD or Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake on the PC and the Xbox because you get dual entitlement for that one too. Death Stranding, even, which was a former PlayStation owned IP, is now on Xbox, and you can get dual entitlement for that one too. PC and Xbox for one purchase. Oh, how about like every pretty much Game Pass game being able to do the same damn thing as well? Oh, what you mean they're actually adding the ability for me to play all the games or most of the games that I own in the cloud wherever I want? Oh, that sounds pretty fucking amazing. As a consumer, I'm like, fuck yeah, give it to me. Give me that shit. Yes, that way I also have an extra little bit of future proof that whatever I buy or whatever is in my subscription, I'm going to get access to years and years and years and years down the road in the future because they're securing that future with these features. No, I just want to buy a disc and put it in my box. Just want to buy a disc and put it in my box. Can we just go back to the way it was? Can we go back to the good old days? I hate downloading updates. I mean, come on. Let's actually put into perspective all the extra benefits you're getting because they're going in this direction. I don't know, man. That wins out for me. That wins out for me. Like, is it cool to feel special sometimes? Like, hey, I got something better than these other guys over there. They don't have this. Makes me feel good, right? I got this. They don't. Hey, they're gonna want this. Sure, whatever, right? But if they have it and you got it, and your experience doesn't change, but you get a better deal on it, and you get all this other cool shit because of that, hey, man, that's good enough for me. If these games also are more places as well, now there's a separate conversation we got to have about third party because that's another big conversation that comes up. But that's a whole thing with the storefront and all this other kind of stuff. But as this ecosystem grows, you're going to see more and more as these games keep getting healthier. These games are more places. It gives better chance for all these games to succeed. And that is good for them and is good for us as gamers, right? If you want to champion something and you want to have bragging rights and you want to have this pride about having something that nobody else can have, that's one thing, right? But that's not what this is about. It's about gaming. It's about the games. This has always been about the games for me. And I want more access to the games. I'm down for this 100%, man. So keep going, keep going. I do all this shit that they add. I want them to keep going with these features, bro. I want them to add every possible feature that benefits me as a consumer. Fuck exclusivity at that point. I honestly don't care. I'll just say it. Like, I don't care. Fuck exclusivity at that point. It doesn't matter to me if somebody else gets to play something. I'm not gonna go in their fucking house and get jealous. I got the shit here. Like, and I got it better. I'm cool with that. And they're making hardware. Anyway.
And they're making hardware. They're making hardware. Game over. Cholo. Welcome to the chat, by the way. Have you zero issue coming in here if you want to hang out. We don't mind differing opinions for sure. But I haven't seen your name here that I can think of. So I'll just tell you this. You probably haven't heard a whole lot from me and Mav. But if you don't think that we haven't criticized Phil or Xbox, you definitely have not been listening to us. Mav and I have been called pony bots. We have been ostracized, criticized, everything possible for our criticisms of Xbox and of Phil and stuff. So yeah, definitely not that space. But again, at this point, what Mav is saying and what we've been talking about now all this year is that what are you going to do? Microsoft, the money men, aren't going to change their minds on this. This was an accelerant because this got accelerated because of ABK. ABK was an accelerant. We were told that. It is what it is, right? This accelerated the plans. This was something different. Again, from our talks to the beginning of the generation to now, completely different. And I don't believe for a second that this was the ultimate goal. And I still have problems with Phil in this interview talking about the console base not growing. Yeah, you're right, Phil. The console base isn't going to grow, but I do have an issue because I don't think you want to lose more of your console base either. So I think that you still have to focus on the console somewhat, even if your growth you're seeing is in the cloud and PC. You better make sure to still take care of your console base because you don't want to go backwards, even in this limited space anymore. You don't. And I don't think they do either. So some of his words, I just go, Phil, come on, man. Come on. Come on. You can say it a little bit better way. But I totally understand what he's saying because this is the same message they've been giving us now for a very long time. The strategy has changed. Their business model has changed, right? Again, it wouldn't be my business model of choice, but it is what it is. To Mav's point, because I'm not a console warrior, because I am a gamer at heart and have been a gamer for a very long time, again, since Sega exited this industry, the hardware industry, I am a gamer. What I care about is who gives me the biggest benefits as a gamer. And to Mav's point, it's not even close. If there was enough games on Sony PlayStation side that interested me and that I wanted to play, I would pick up a PlayStation. I've owned a PlayStation since the PS1. This will be the first generation I don't own a PlayStation as of right now. I've owned every single one, launch day, except for the PS3. When I went Xbox first, that's that generation, and then I bought the PS3 midway through the generation. So for me, Xbox, hands down, is giving me as a gamer everything I want and more. It is giving me the best value. They have the best lineup of games that I enjoy by far. It's not even close. Talked about this a billion times. And I get them all in a subscription service because my choice is I don't have to own my games to feel like I'm getting value. I don't have to. Maybe you do. Maybe some of you are physical people. That's totally cool. I get that. It's cool. I've certainly got some physical collection here of some older stuff. I kept a lot of my older stuff and I've sold some of it. But the point of fact is, for me, I don't have to buy a game to have value. I don't have to own, quote unquote, which nobody owns, but I don't have to own a license on a disc or even a license in a digital version to feel like I've gotten value out of my library of gaming. So the subscription service that Xbox offers me through Game Pass, because I enjoy so many of their first-party titles, is second to none. And that's not changing. None of this changes that, like Mav said. In fact, it increases the amount, potentially, of games that I am now going to see in Game Pass. I am a little disappointed in the slow roll of ABK's back catalog. I'm not going to lie. I thought that was going to happen a whole lot sooner. I would like to see that speed up. I do have questions after today's announcement that Avowed is going to BattleNet, and we'll talk about that. I do have questions about why we don't have BattleNet games coming over to Windows PC. But we'll get to that. But right now, there is nothing out there that is a better value for me as a gamer than Game Pass. It allows me to buy more games outside of the Xbox ecosystem than ever before by having that subscription service, right? As somebody who is a budgeted gamer. So for me, I'm riding this till the wheels fall off. What Phil did in these interviews just confirmed everything that Mav and I and a lot of the Fun Spec fam, Steel and everybody else have been kind of giving you guys and talking about through this, even though a lot of people don't want to hear it. It's just the same thing. He is just confirming everything. And they're going to continue to do this, folks, right? They're going to continue to make these announcements. Phil's going to continue to do interviews because that's what he does. But he's going to continue to press forward with their future, their vision of the future of this Xbox everywhere thing. And again, to Mav's point, that does nothing but benefit me as a gamer who continues to invest in the Xbox ecosystem. It doesn't take away from anything. I don't need my purchases as a 49 going on 50-year-old adult male. I don't need my purchases validated. Okay? I don't need my money to be okayed where I spend it by other people. I don't need that in my life. I am totally cool. So for me, this gives me the more potential that longer that I stay in this ecosystem to gain benefits from the way that they're doing business now. Because guess what, folks? Acquisition season's back on the books. What does that mean? Well, that means if they do decide to make another move, or 2 or 3 moves, those libraries, whatever the IP they pick up, whatever games in the future that they produce, as of right now, will be coming to Game Pass. less games I have to purchase, more games that I get to try out and see if I'm interested in those games that I wouldn't buy because I wouldn't take the chance on them, but yet I get to play them for free. And that's not even counting the third-party stuff that we get, that they're still heavily investing in. So the Xbox ecosystem growing, Xbox growing as a brand. Sure. Is it the same Xbox that started back in 2000, 2001? Is it the same Xbox that wanted to come into the home living room and dominate that area so that PlayStation didn't take it over, which is what Gates was afraid of back originally? If you go back and watch the Xbox On documentary, Gates was afraid that Sony was going to take over the living room. Is it that same Xbox that started all of this? No, it's not. Is remnants of the Xbox still there? Of course, because that's why we still get hardware. That's why we still have boxes, right? But their business, their brand is so much bigger now than it was back then by a long shot. People forget Microsoft was a game software publisher long before and developer long before Xbox was even a dream. You guys don't understand how long, some people don't understand how long Flight Sim's been around for, right? Mm-hmm. They've been in this industry and they've always evolved, right? They've always evolved. They're just evolving again here, folks. And again, if it's something that you don't like, I understand. I long sometimes for the old days too. I love the battles, not the community bullshit. I just love businesses going toe to toe because I do think that it does improve people in businesses when they are actually in direct competition. I do think the exclusives did give us better games back in the day sometimes because they were trying to outdo each other or because they were trying to find a new game that would, overtake one of their competitors, right? How many Halo killers came along, right? And now you can say, well, none of them succeeded. And you're right. None of them did succeed. But when I played Killzone, I loved the hell out of Killzone, man. I did. Guerrilla did fucking amazing things. They created the Decima engine, which is still living today. I think that competition is good, but that's not where we are in 2024. That's not what the digital future is lending itself to. That's not what cloud gaming, cloud development, that's not what Microsoft is looking at when they talk about that stuff. AI, none of that stuff has got to do with that direct competition. So they look at it and they go, oh shit, man, we got an opportunity here. We got an opportunity for 2 to 3 billion people, as Phil started talking about years ago, that nobody wanted to listen to. Everybody laughed when Phil came out and said that. Well, nobody's laughing now because their active monthly users are through the roof. They're crushing it. As I turned off my camera by accident. Great. They are crushing it. They're so far beyond everybody else now with their acquisitions and their monthly active users. It's not even funny anymore. And that's a metric that they've been pushing for a long time. And then Sony came along and started pushing the same metric too. More quietly, but they are. They are one of the most successful brands in this industry right now, whether people want to accept that or not. They right now are potentially the world's largest publisher of video games as it stands right now. From where they were, from nearly closing the doors, shuttering the business when Phil took over. That is no joke. People love to forget that. People love to gloss over that. All these people going, oh God, this sucks for the industry. I just wish Xbox would be competing with Sony and that they'd need to, all the fake whining and dooming and glooming over Xbox leaving this industry when that's actually what people want. But what's funny is if you truly are one of those people that wanted that, how do you forget the fact that if it wasn't for Phil and what he did, there wouldn't be an Xbox right now. And it would be potentially a two-person show, or you potentially would have Apple in this industry, or you potentially would have Amazon in this industry. You really want that? You really want those two? Okay. But the facts are the facts. Phil did save Xbox. His plan and others within his circle for Game Pass saved Xbox and kept Xbox around. And maybe it's not the Xbox that a lot of us dreamed that we would have at this point. Maybe, right? Even us at the beginning of the generation when we were gung-ho and we thought that they, again, making these acquisitions, buying things that we had, before the pandemic, we thought they had a real shot. Grabbing some mind share back. You can go back and listen to all of our podcasts. They're all out there. You'll hear me touting the fact that I think that Xbox could grab some of the mind share back with Game Pass. And I think that Game Pass could hit 50, 75 million by the end of this generation. You can hear me say all those predictions. That all just changed, man. So no, it's not the same as that. But guess what? They're taking a new direction, a much bigger direction. And nothing so far is interrupting my value from them in gaming. It is only multiplied my value in gaming as a gamer. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon. There is zero signs of that slowing down. So to Mav's point as well, please, Xbox, please, Phil, continue to push forward with this vision. Continue to make your money gods happy. Because for me, that is going to mean bigger and better things down the pipeline. That's going to mean even more IPs coming through and giving me a chance to find my next favorite game down the line, whether it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, because Xbox is thriving everywhere. And if that's happening 20 years from now when I'm nearly 70 years old, but I still see Xbox popping up everywhere on my games and I'm playing some of my favorite games. I'm playing Elder Scrolls. Well, we'll be 7 by then or so, somewhere in that neighborhood. I'll be playing Elder Scrolls 7. You think I'm going to think back and go, God damn, man, wish the box was still around. The fuck I am. I'm going to be thankful that Xbox carried on. I'm going to be thankful that I've still got those games coming down the pipeline and that I'm able to play them. I'm going to be thankful I'm still in the ecosystem. Even if Game Pass disappears, like I said, I'll ride it till the wheels fall off. If Game Pass disappears, guess what? We will all adapt. We will all move on. We will all find a new way to play games, or we will exit the hobby if it's no longer interesting to us. That happens in life too. Plenty of hobbies out there to go find. Otherwise, guess what? We'll go back to buying games again. Cool. Whatever. I'll buy less games each year because I got to spend more on Xbox first party. I don't give a shit. It'll happen. I won't like it. I'll be sad that Game Pass went away. But you know what? I'm still a gamer. That's never going to change one way or the other. Phil right here, right now, is just laying out the vision for everybody. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. There is no game playing with Phil right now. There is none of it. He's telling you all what's going to do. He can't give you all the details. He can't give us the full roadmap, even though I told you all I'd drop it if I was Phil. I'd give you every single game coming out for the next 10 years if I had him. Phil ain't going to do that. But what he can do is tell you exactly what they're doing. And guess what? It's not even just Phil anymore. They made a whole marketing campaign around it now. Can't be any more fucking clear to everybody. Can't be.
Yeah.
This is the new Xbox.
They had these interviews lined up with the advertisement, the new ads. Any Xbox Anywhere is now going to Xbox Everywhere, right? Like the whole thing. This was coming out months ago about this campaign. Remember, like it was back when they originally did the little podcast interview thing, and they started after that. It started coming out that like there was like internal emails and stuff about like Xbox Everywhere and their idea of going forward with this. And this was the campaign finally did it. I think interesting thing is some things happened with the mobile store wasn't as ready as they wanted it to be when they were ready to launch. When they wanted to launch this campaign, because if they had that launch with the game ownership library on all those devices, I think a lot of people would have had more excitement over the fact that you can access your games you own on all those places. Instead of just seeing this as like, oh, they're making the console less important, right? Like, that's how people took this today instead of the other way. Overall, though, like it's really not any different than what they've already been doing. Like with this ad today showing this, and this. This is stuff they've been pushing all generation about. You can play games on a fucking refrigerator, or you can play games on a tablet or a laptop or whatever. The additional thing is that they're excited about is this mobile aspect with Google and Apple, where they're going to have their storefronts there. And that's the last domino to fall that takes it from that anywhere to everywhere. And that's being implemented now. So as these apps continue to evolve for these features, like that's benefiting us. right? It's a benefit. It's additive to if the console. If you like playing on a console, it's right here. You can do it. Like if you're watching this on your TV with a YouTube app or whatever, and you're sitting there with your console and you're using the YouTube app, hey, your fucking console's right there, right? If you're sitting there playing games while you're listening to us, hey, your console's right there. If you when you shut the show off later, or if you're listening after the fact or whatever, and you got an Xbox in your house, guess what? It's still right there. As they said, this is still an Xbox. Like you can still go play your games on the Xbox console. You can still access Game Pass and play your games day and date that are launching like bananas right now, just out the wazoo on Game Pass. Oh, but if you decide, hey, you know what? I want to invest in a PC to have a different experience and to access different things as well. Well, guess what? You can also access your Xbox games there. Oh, if you got a phone, well, hey, guess what? I bought that game on Xbox, or I have Game Pass. Can I check out the game there as well? What it's say? Let's say I'm out of town. You got to bring your Xbox with you? No, you can bring your phone. Hey, that's cool for me. That's an added benefit as a consumer. I'm not going to be upset about that. That'd be ludicrous. Why? I'm mad at you for giving me more access to my games, Xbox. Screw you. Lock it to my box, please. Just lock it. Lock it to the box. Don't want anybody else. I don't want to be able to play these things on a TV via an app. I don't want to have access on my phone. I don't want to do any of that stuff. Take it all away. Take all those extra features. I mean, come on. Are we really complaining about that? Like extra benefits for the stuff that you're already paying for? That's just like weird. I don't understand the mentality of getting upset about extra benefits as a consumer. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like wanting something to be special because it gatekeeps everybody else away and keeps stuff so limited that that's what makes it special alone. That shit's artificial. It's artificial because it's manipulated in that way, because that's how they're doing it. If they expand, they could expand it out and reach more people or allow you to access things in different ways. But no, because it's going to help sell the box. Well, as a consumer, do you care more about them selling more consoles, or do you care about what you're getting to play and how you're accessing it and the value that you're getting? Do you care more about the metrics of the console war and being able to say, oh, look at this week, Xbox sold more consoles than PlayStation did in the UK or in Japan or whatever? Is that what you mainly care about? Or do you care about the fact that you can actually play these games wherever you are on whatever devices that you have for a ridiculously cheap subscription comparatively to other subscriptions out there that give you way less? Think about it for a second as somebody that's actually should care about yourself as a consumer and what you're playing and what you say it's all about, the games. Ultimately, I think, again, like for me, that side wins out time and time again, man. Like I'm all in on it. The other thing, Pong, was the other side that I keep seeing people say. This is going to continue to have companies not put their games on Xbox. That was the first thing was, hey, they're going to stop making hardware, right? Phil just slam dunked that shit in their face. Again, I don't know how many times people need to hear that. We'll get into the reason business-wise why it doesn't make any damn sense, but also the third-party thing, right? Like, I got to say this. What have we seen this generation so far? When they've actually started doing this, we've seen more companies go to Xbox than last generation. Square Enix is done with exclusivity in the future with PlayStation. Maybe they have some deals or here and there, but like they weren't happy with it. They said we need to start looking and putting our games everywhere. Sega just just praise the fact that they decided to make those moves and how much it's helped their business and their franchises. Atlas Games, Metaphor ReFantazio. Again, Square, we just got Dragon Quest HD2D remake hidden with the dual entitlement and stuff like that, right?
Well, that's one of the benefits, right, man?
Yeah,
the
100%.
play anywhere is one of the benefits that if Phil completes his vision, if Xboxes can complete this vision that they have, that's a massive part of it. That's why you're starting to see that pop up on games, third-party games, because Mav's talking about third-party, people worried about third-party not putting their games. Not only are third parties putting their games still on Xbox in a greater amount than they did in the previous gen, but they're also buying into this play anywhere, this dual entitlement for games that aren't even a part of a Game Pass deal, right? So that
and why?
Why?
Because they're reaching a shit ton more gamers. It's not just about the fucking console anymore. Like, yeah, they could sell less consoles because of this initiative, right? Next generation, they probably will sell less consoles or whatever.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, are all these people being able to access their games more on all these different places?
Correct.
Don't you think that publishers and developers that are looking for reaching more gamers could see a benefit that, hey, well, it's not just the 40 million or whatever that end up buying the console. It's also all these people in the cloud and all these people on PC and all these people here and there, right? You see, we just got Death Stranding that way, Dragon Quest, Metaphor ReFantazio, right?
The Pixel remakes.
Pixel remake, yeah. I mean, it's happening, bro.
It is, and I think that again, it's up to Xbox to sell this vision, but this is part of Xbox, or Microsoft in particular as a company. That's part of your job as a company, but they are obviously doing it right now because the deal is that the thing that I see, and Korkenstein, by the way, welcome to chat. I saw you in here, brother. Appreciate you dropping in. You're right. Obviously, competition also helps because they are competing for our time and money, and competition always does. But that's still happening, right? That part of it doesn't change with Xbox's change in strategy, right? Because the one thing that is limited for all of us is time. Everybody is got only a finite amount of time to play video games as a hobby, right? So they're all competing with us at all times. It doesn't matter if they're competing directly in the console space or not. Xbox is competing to keep their monthly active users way up above everybody else. The thing that can drive that, the thing that can help both parties, and I'm talking about Xbox and third-party developers or publishers, is with that dual entitlement map. Think about it. With PlayStation, right? For the PlayStation people, the only option they have to play their game when they buy it on PlayStation right now is if they're in front of their console or if they have a portal, right? Those are their two access points to be able to play their games right now.
Or you can console stream.
You can console stream. Correct. Yeah. You can console stream. I kind of keeping that. Yes, you can console stream because that's been available for a while now. Yes, you can console stream. But that's your access points. Now think about this. So people have to be in very specific spots and situations for the most part with PlayStation games. With Xbox and their initiatives that they already have in place, again, the stuff that they started on the back end years and years and years ago, last generation, to now, with this play anywhere, think about it if you're a publisher or dev and you're looking at the amount of time people spend in your games, right? Because devs are now paying attention to that stuff as well. If you give into that play anywhere, and again, I don't think it's free. I think Xbox is enticing them with a little bit sweeter pot somewhere. But if you do that with Xbox, when you put it in a game into their ecosystem, and all of a sudden Xbox is available on all these devices that people have, and they start seeing the monthly active user numbers that Microsoft is able to show them, you don't think it doesn't click in the devs or the publishers' heads like, holy shit, there is a massive opportunity on Xbox's ecosystem for more people to find our game, for more people to see our game, for more people to spend time with our games than anywhere else. Just the potential alone is a selling point. That's why I don't think third parties are going to stop putting games on Xbox. In fact, that's why I think they've started increasing, because it's not like Xbox suddenly blew up this generation. It's not like suddenly, they cut into PlayStation's lead this generation in the console space. So why are all of a sudden these third parties coming now that weren't around last generation? Oh, because that old exclusivity model doesn't work. And because Xbox has a very, very fertile ecosystem, one that is still growing beyond the console, because that's their plan, that's their initiative. So I think third parties are looking at that potential now more than ever and going, well, we can't skip out on that. And it doesn't cost us a whole lot to do ports anymore to that system, because again, everybody's basically running the same type of system now. So it's not the same as the old days. So yeah, it'd be dumb for us not to put games over there and start cultivating a fan base, cultivating an audience, much like Atlas, right? Much like we've seen Sega do with Yakuzas, right? All of these different examples that are now like real, they're facts. That's what other companies see, like Square Enix, and go, shit, we have been missing out. We really have limited ourselves for a very long time. We have damaged ourselves by not being everywhere that we possibly can be. So I don't think that's going to change. That's not going to change at all. I think it's actually going to ramp up as Xbox continues to expand, because that's what needs to happen for Phil to get his vision in place. It's not just about first party titles being available everywhere, right? It's also about third parties being available everywhere as well within that ecosystem. And that helps everybody, right? So I think that's my opinion on it. I think it definitely is not something that's going to happen. I think third parties are going to continue to go. You got anything to add to that stuff, Matt?
No, I mean 100%. We didn't even discuss this really, but we're like usual, our minds are in the same place. Right. How we look at the business side of these things, right? Like, I think that ultimately just we've seen the opposite of what people are claiming this generation with that stuff. The ones that the big games that are generally skipping or whatever is because of deals, right? And that's something that we earlier on in a few years ago said was probably going to stop happening as much, because the other publishers are going to start to see more value in being in more places. And also, then at that point, you have to look at, well, which deal makes more sense for me? PlayStation's exclusivity money deal that they're offering that's not allowing me to go to other places, right? Or Xbox's deal, whether it be a Game Pass deal or just a different deal for marketing that still allows me to sell my game everywhere, right? What we're seeing is these publishers are seeing more value in that than the exclusivity deal for the most part. Now, you're going to have, I think, a lot of smaller companies and a lot of different companies still take these deals here and there. And obviously, some games get help funded by publishers and all that stuff. So, exclusivity deals aren't done whatsoever. No, but you're going to see some of the bigger publishers, especially, that don't need that money as much, that aren't gonna be as easily persuaded or bullied or whatever, uh, to do a deal like that, right? You're gonna see them, for most part, start wanting to put their games everywhere, because we've seen the ones that have started to do that praise how much it's helped their business and help make them successful, right? Like, we predicted this early on with Square because it was just easy to see, you know.
Yes.
And now you're seeing it come to fruition. So ultimately, that's going to continue, because the things that have driven that is what the console gamer enthusiast that's getting angry doesn't understand, or doesn't want to happen. The things that are driving that is the play anywhere stuff. It's the Xbox everywhere stuff. It's the expanding of the ecosystem, because those are the things that I could imagine they're selling to these publishers. Like, yeah, we have less console users. Yeah, sure. But look, we have way more monthly active users.
Correct.
Like, we have way more engagement on our multiplayer games. Shit, like, again, like in this kind of report, like the Xbox games are being played more than the PlayStation games. Helldivers 2, again, this baffles the hell out of me. I don't understand how it's not in the top 15 of playtime on a PlayStation. but it's in the top 5 every week on PC. I don't understand how Overwatch 2 can beat out Helldivers 2 and Destiny on PlayStation, but it did.
Mhm.
So anyway, we see Death Stranding, and it now like took the place for the top paid games over Call of Duty. You don't think other developers and other publishers see this stuff? They're gonna react to it? Be like, okay, well, that's it. Why wouldn't we want to go sell our game there too?
Right. Exactly.
Like, people are buying them, people are playing them. The engagement's good. So all the third party talk is just nonsense to me. The other side was the console stuff, which again, like it just like has been. I don't know how many times they got to say it, but like numbers wise, when people are saying that they're going to abandon the console market, they're not even going to make a console because nobody needs one, right? What do most of you in the chat play on? What is it? How many PlayStation sold this generation? Is like 60 million by now or something? 7? Yeah, I don't even know. How many console users are there? Xbox 30, 40, somewhere between there, probably this generation, around 30. I don't know. Whatever it is. We know that Xbox is making or they have like 30 to 40 million Game Pass Ultimate subscribers, right? We know that the majority of them are on console. And we know that the Game Pass console user spends the most money. We know this because they keep telling us this in their financial reports and every time they talk about all this stuff, right? So the majority of gamers that are still just like to play a console, right? Spending their money more than anybody else in the ecosystem, driving the most Game Pass subscriptions. And how much are they making off of Game Pass again? What, $3 or $4 billion a year? Something like that is what it was. Microsoft also going to say, hey, we don't want that anymore. We're going to force all of you guys to go buy a PlayStation, which doesn't have that, which we're not going to get Game Pass subscriptions for. At the end of the day, what they keep saying is true. The heartbeat is still going to be the core element, which is the core pillar, which is the console, and it expands out from there. Because we're the consumers that spend the most money. So let's think about it. Business wise, it doesn't make sense. They're not going to throw away $3 or $4 billion of annual revenue by not having something in the future for us to buy. It doesn't make any damn sense. As a business, it doesn't make any damn sense.
Nope.
Right? Will they sell less because of you don't need one necessarily? Yeah, but there's a lot of enthusiasts that love consoles and are willing to buy one. Is it going to grow their market? No, it's all this other shit that's going to grow it. But they're still going to sell us because we spend a lot of money. We're the enthusiasts, right? So that whole conversation was just another thing that's like dumb to begin with, dumb as well. I just don't ever understand the actual logic. Whenever I come from these things, it's like try and look at these things from a logical perspective, right? And kind of
that's where you go wrong, man. That's where you go wrong. You got to be all emotional all the time. Like, that's where you got to. You have to be up in your feelings like 24/7 to understand some of this stuff and to be on the same level, bro. You have to be.
Yeah, I guess. You know, like my rants or whatever. I have fun with it, and like, I'll talk shit and try and be loud and stuff. But like, man, like I don't care what other people get to play. Deep in my heart and soul, I never have.
Well,
like when I was a kid, man, if I could buy I could only have one console when I was a kid, right? Like I wasn't able to get an NES and a and a
Sure. Yeah,
Sega
no,
Master
of course.
System.
Most of us had one.
I was a Master System kid, right?
Sure.
My friends had NESs, right? If you could tell me that I got to play the same fucking games that my neighbor or friends had that I didn't, I would have been like, "Fuck yeah, it's amazing! I only have to buy this one thing and I get everything." That's the perfect fucking world for me. Like I've never been that one that's like, I love exclusivity. I think is good. It's been good for business, obviously, for these companies, and I could say why I think, like you said, Pong too. Like they're leaving potential growth in the console
Yes.
market still on the table, right?
Yes. Yes.
But I think they just ultimately they see more gains in the other places as opposed to this because
Right.
I mean their games are being played out the ass on PlayStation, right? Like they see that money, it's like, well, we're gonna test the waters on all these different things. Now look at this, like oh my god, there's so much money. Let's just keep doing this shit. Like so, it doesn't surprise me that's the route they're going.
Right.
But and it doesn't upset me either because if a PlayStation guy wants to boot up Halo, like cool, well,
Uh,
be more filled lobbies. I don't know, like
I don't. Did you see Steele's post today? On
yeah,
X?
I did.
Yeah,
That's
Steele and I've talked about this a billion times, right? Because again, we've been way out in front saying Gears is going multiplat. Gears is going to go multiplat in my eyes. It, we both said it. Steele made the post again today, making fun of everybody because for him, and I agree with him, even though I'm not that competitive multiplayer anymore. Bring them all in. Bring all these dudes in, these dudes and girls who have not experienced a Gears of War multiplayer before or a Halo multi.
Oh god,
Bring them on in.
they're gonna
It's
get
like
wall bounced and now Nasher.
right. It's like Christmas back in the day with Call of Duty all over
Yeah.
again when all the 12-year-olds showed up with a brand new copy of Call of Duty and you had already been playing for a month. Like, bring them in because to Steele's point, this has been his massive point. And again, it makes sense. It's common sense. Again, if you're not up in your feelings, like Mav said, and you're using common sense from a business standpoint, this day and age, this industry is not what it was back in the day. Okay. To survive, if you want franchises like Halo and Gears, not to just survive, but to thrive on top of it, you need as many people as possible playing that game. And I'm talking about multiplayer games, games as a service, whatever definition you want to give them now. We have seen it time and time and time again. You have to have as many players as possible playing these games to keep them alive. So bring them on in. What is the difference? It's multiplayer games, right? For the most part. Yes, I know Gears has a very special campaign to a lot of us, and Halo obviously does as well. But the facts are the facts. Outside of that campaign, those couple run-throughs that you do on the campaign, maybe you do one in single, maybe you do one co-op, whatever the case may be, however you guys do it. I know some of you play them over and over again, but I'm just saying. Then you are on to the multiplayer. That's where those games made their marks, right? Was the multiplayer. And if you want those to survive in this day and age, man, you got to have a huge base built up. Otherwise, they can be dead and gone very quickly. And I don't want to see them gone. I want to see them keep making these games, right? And if that's what it takes, so be it. Bring them all in. I'll have a blast going back in multiplayer with a bunch of inexperienced multiplayer players that never done this kind of stuff before. Like, give them to me. Bring them on in. Bring the noobs in. And I think that that's a valid point that Steele makes constantly and that we've talked about plenty of times. I think it's time. I think that you do have to do it, Mav. I think it's just a part of the natural evolution of what's happening in this industry because you're not just fighting with Sony for consumers' times. You're not just fighting with Nintendo for consumers' times. You're fighting with third-party big publishers now. You're fighting with the EAs. You're fighting with the Epics, right? With Fortnite. You're fighting with so many other people. You're fighting with unknown people that double A's and indie games that come out of the blue and take up people's time. Look at this list real quick, man, on Circana for PC. You're fighting against games like Factorio.
Yeah.
That came out 4 years ago, or no, that actually was kickstarted in 2017. 7-year-old game. It comes out with an update and jumps to number 5 in the Steam charts. Factorio. Who the hell's heard of Factorio? Okay, you're competing against web fishing. Go look up web fishing. I looked up web fishing because I was curious as to what it is. It's some dumb little indie game that we've seen a million times. And I'm saying dumb, not as in dumb. You guys know I love indie games. But what I'm saying is it's some unknown little indie game that showed up on PC and it jumps to number 9 this week. Like, this is what we're talking about. The industry is so much bigger now. It includes so much more competition directly for the games themselves because, again, we all only have so much time to give this hobby as players. They are competing, all of them, against each other. So you need big bases nowadays. You need to have as big a pool to pull from as possible to give each and every single one of those games, the multiplayer games, a chance to succeed and go beyond even, just being okay, but getting up there into something that's really, really good and popular. You got to have the biggest pool possible nowadays. It's not like the old days where you can just drop a Halo exclusive and everybody shows up the midnight launch. And all of a sudden, because there's been no other games for 2 months from Xbox, all of a sudden you got 20 million people playing it within the next month. That doesn't happen like that anymore because we all have so many freaking games to play now and they just keep coming and coming and coming. Pause. So you gotta expand out. You have to evolve. That's where I'm at. So anyways.
Yeah. I mean, we're the truth is it's not that they don't see value still in the console market. It's just they're not beholden to it anymore.
No. Yeah, no. Yeah.
They're not beholden to it.
They're not going to live and die by the console market anymore.
No. They're beyond it. Beyond.
Right.
They're beyond it, right?
They're everything now.
They have the capability to do that. That's why they're doing it. They have the capability to do it. You don't think that back in the day, when we were little fucking Rugrat 9-year-olds running around playing these old games, that if the technology was there for all these companies to be able to sell us everybody for didn't have to have a box to access to sell us tons and tons of games, right? Like they wouldn't have done it. Like, yeah, that if they could have made amazing games and had the ability for everybody to be able to access it and buy shit from them, that they wouldn't have done that. No, but the technology was based on the capability of trying to deliver a box that was powerful enough to run decent games that they could make and have different people sell products on. And that was the business. And that kept forever because that's basic concept of what it was. Make a box. Hey, you make your own games too, because that's what's going to help sell it. You sell more of them. You're going to drive more people to make more games for your box. You're going to make money off all the games that are being sold for. You're going to make money on the boxes eventually themselves, not right away, because you can take a loss on it up front. And then, you know what? Rinse and repeat, because people are going to lose interest over time. Technology has gotten improved. We need to figure out how to sell them more games. Well, guess what? We're going to come out with a better box now because technology is better. We're going to make new games and we're going to push things forward. And then guess what? 6 years later, let's do it all over again. Hey, guess what? 6 years later, let's do it all over again. Whatever the time span was. That's ending. That's ending. They're not beholden to that anymore. Things are changing. Does it bring back great memories because we loved these pieces of hardware that had these magical games on it that changed our lives? Absolutely. Right? But here I am as a 41-year-old adult playing more games than I've ever had access to before for less money and being able to play them in more places. I ain't complaining about that shit.
Agreed. Yeah, I got nothing else to add. I just, again, I hope this is the final time we got to go. It won't be. It won't be. No. It won't be. But I always will say, I hope this is the final time. I hope everybody's heard it loud and clear now. And again, make your decision. Make your decision. Again, the options are, you can be disappointed, heartbroken, whatever you want to call it, angry. Make your choice. You got the choice. You're free. You're free to do what you feel is best for you as a gamer. Period, point blank, end of story. It's your money, your wallet. Go make your choice, one way or the other. Like, again, that's what you can do. Speaking of monthly active users, speaking of fighting for people's time, Mav, we already knew Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was a massive launch, sir. We already knew that, right?
Yeah.
We got all the word out. Of course, people wanted to play with the numbers, and Christopher Dring did his whole UK number thing, and somehow, some way, even though we already know that's where Xbox gets outsold 5-1, sometimes 6-1 over the UK and or EU and all that kind of stuff, he still finds a way to spin it like Xbox's side of things is doing less than, even though we know Call of Duty was on Game Pass, and of course it's going to be played on Game Pass by a lot of people on Xbox, but he somehow spun it more again to make Xbox look bad, and that like PlayStation was carrying Call of Duty again. Like I don't. Whatever, man. Whatever.
That goes against Piscatella's thing about
right. So then that's what I was just going to bring up. That's what I was just going to bring up. So we all knew how this was all going to go down. The facts are the facts. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is one of the biggest launches of all time. People tried to say, well, they didn't say biggest sales, blah, blah, blah. Matt Piscatella, of course, from Circana, came out this week and made a post saying Call of Duty engagement following the release of Black Ops 6 can only be defined by the term bonkers. Quote unquote, bonkers. We've yet to see anything like it in our engagement tracking data. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 sales, excluding subs and add-on content, are also doing very, in capital letters, very well. More on that next Friday. So we'll get some more stats next Friday, but Mav, all things being said, throwing around all the shit that was talked about, Xbox is going to destroy Call of Duty by putting on a Game Pass. They're going to lose so much money off of this by doing it this way. If this keeps up, the engagement, Mav, we know what's going to happen with the store. We know what's going to happen with people. And there's no, by all metrics right now, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is the best Call of Duty that there's been out in decades, according to the vast majority of the fan base. It is all in agreement on this. Again, everybody's got their gripes, everybody's got their nitpicks, so there's a whole hater group that, of course, is going to be out there. But overall, the general sentiment is this Black Ops 6 is freaking incredible. But to hear Piscatella say that the engagement following the release was quote-unquote bonkers, and they had never seen anything like it at Circana, kind of tells you all you need to know, really, Mav, right?
Yeah. I forget exactly. I wanted to go back. I was hoping to found the link for it, but there was actually something he added on to that.
There was. Okay. I did not see anything else. I'm sorry.
So he said even more so surprising was on the Xbox side.
Okay.
Was actually like more play is like more playtime or something than PlayStation. I gotta find this specific quote because I don't want to like misquote it.
Because he's not posting on X anymore. He's on Blue Sky now, right?
Yeah. And which I was on there and I had it. Let me see if I can find it.
Because I'm not over there, so I didn't see anybody else post any more of his stuff. So that's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I know I had either shared it or reacted to it, so I'll look for it because I want to make sure. I don't know the specifics, but it was very interesting to me.
Yeah, and I think just overall, I just think it's every time they try to downplay something like this is what happens every single fucking time too. It's just funny like this, how this works. Again, being number one again on PlayStation, of course, being number one on Xbox, number 3 on Steam, which is massive too. Again, that's and number 2 on Steam, by the way, was Monster Hunter Wilds, a demo, which is crazy. But this again, I just really hope that Phil and the whole team is really pushing to give Infinity Ward the same amount of time that they gave Treyarch. I think this is legitimate. I'm going to keep hammering this point home, is that I think that they've got a formula here that obviously works. And I want them to continue to give the same amount of time here. I think there needs that breathing room for Infinity Ward to put out a same, because again, you don't want to go backwards. The next Call of Duty you drop, you don't want to go backwards. Treyarch has brought it back up to this point. You don't want Infinity Ward to rush it and then drop it back down again. You want to see it maintain this, or maybe even if they could push it a little bit further. Again, not everybody's an Infinity Ward fan, Call of Duty fan, but I just think that you got to give this franchise at this point, how long it's been out for, the time necessary to develop a complete, polished vision of the game and allow them to even make changes, like some new mechanics, like obviously Treyarch did. So I just really think that I really am crossing my fingers and hoping that this is the new way of doing Call of Duty. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I hope it is. I really do.
Right. Okay, I think I have it here. Let me see if I got the right one. Says Call of Duty engagement following the release of Black Ops 6 is going to be defined by the term bonkers, which you said.
Yep.
So he said there's been an ongoing debate about Game Pass and its impact on sales, and it's never been settled because it depends. Sometimes it helps sales, especially through virality. Sometimes it hurts. After 2 weeks, my take on this one is that it may not have helped, but it also sure didn't hurt. So that's one thing, but then he went on to say something else in a comment. Damn it. Okay, keep going, Pong. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I found drinks too. Because I saw somebody in the chat say that sales were down. The only place that I've seen the sales down was Dring saying that in the UK sales were down 11%, right? And he said it was probably the Game Pass. Again, that makes it probably is the Game Pass effect. Again, that's no doubt. But PlayStation sales were up 24%. And then you hear the director of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 come out and say that the engagement is crazy because Game Pass has allowed so many people to come back around to Call of Duty that may have dropped off of Call of Duty over the past whatever many years, or were on the fence about buying it, or have never played a Call of Duty. And he said that Game Pass has had a massive effect on that. And again, that is, you can sit and complain, you can sit and just say facts are facts. If those people aren't paying full price, but they're paying it through their Game Pass subscription, Xbox is losing money on that. Okay, that's fine. You can say that, but you don't know the amount of numbers of those people that would have been in that category that ever would have jumped into Call of Duty. And you don't know how much money those people are going to spend long-term in the Xbox ecosystem because Call of Duty is there, or directly with Call of Duty itself because they got it through Game Pass, that when the store does go live, they're having a great time, that they go buy some skins. And a lot of that money comes through the back end. More money comes through the store than the initial sales anyways. So for me, like I've said all along, it's a win-win, Mav. This is, no matter how this is going to turn out, I always felt this is going to be a win-win situation, and I think it is. 24% on PlayStation shows how good this is.
Yeah,
right. That alone shows how good it is, hands down.
Yeah, it's just been, like he said, bonkers, right? The engagement, like over 58% of Xbox users played.
Yes.
It's fucking crazy. Like, when's the last time that's happened?
Right. That's a lot of people, bro.
That's a lot of people. Yeah. And even if sales were down on it, then they probably made up for that with Game Pass subscriptions, right? But also the engagement and just the amount of people playing helps these games and these franchises. There's an extra effect to all of this stuff, right? And that's something that is hard to measure because you're trying to look at it like specifically like, well, what's my return on investment for this versus this and stuff. But like when you talk about popularity, it's hard to measure specifically a dollar amount that what added popularity to something adds value to you as a business, right? But there's a reason why these companies spend tons of money on, like Coke has commercials at the Super Bowl. Right? I mean, they're doing fine business-wise, whatever. I mean, are they going to see a huge return on that commercial? They don't know what how many more sodas they sell because of this Super Bowl commercial, right? Like, but makes a damn difference, right? When it's in front of everybody's brain all the time and people are talking about it. Where do they see it?
Right.
Everywhere. You know, it's like about brand awareness. It's about all these different things, and the more engagement you have with some of these properties, it's only going to help them. It's going to help prolong them. It's going to drive them, and that's something that it's hard to measure specifically. But as you know, if your business is growing and making money, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So
Obviously. Yeah.
that's what the measure is ultimately, right? With Game Pass, is how does it affect your overall ecosystem? And are you growing and being profitable and making more money? And is everything helping each other and all this other kind of stuff, right? And seeing those numbers, about 58% of the console users playing Call of Duty is just absolutely insane, right? However many of them bought the game, however many of them Game Pass, it doesn't fucking matter. They're getting your money either way. It's a lot of people.
A lot.
That's a lot of gamers.
Yep.
Right? Like, so overall, this is gonna keep continuing, man. Like, keep continuing. And yeah, they're super happy to get those sales on PlayStation. They're super happy to get those sales on PlayStation. They're super happy for all the people that were playing Overwatch 2 that week, or what was the other one that was up there from Xbox? Minecraft.
Yep.
You know? Super happy about all the gamers playing those games. There was only one PlayStation game on that list. It was MLB The Show. You tell me Xbox would Xbox rather have 3 of their games on the top 15 of PlayStation as well as 4 on Xbox?
Right.
I bet your damn life they would.
Probably.
Yeah, more of them than the PlayStation has. That's
oh hell yeah, of course, yeah.
You think PlayStation would rather have 3 or 4 of their first party titles on their list? That's making them reoccurring revenue and money.
Yep.
Oh, bet your damn life they would.
That's what they've been hunting for.
Yeah.
Right.
Call of Duty is sitting there number 1.
Yep.
And it's going to be up there all damn year.
Oh, you know it is, especially with this good a one. Yeah, for sure. It's going to be way up there. Yeah, no, can't disagree. I just thought it was interesting, like, again, that how big this actually is. And again, it's just getting started. Season just came out today. So, like, if they continue with these maps, and these maps are great, like, I haven't played it yet, but can't wait to see. But if they continue this run, Treyarch's got something special for Call of Duty here, which is saying a lot. Again, I know it's just Call of Duty, but when we're talking this kind of stuff, it is big. Like, Mav, you pointed out the fact that just overall, a great Call of Duty just enhances the energy around the gaming industry. It's as weird as that is to say at this point in Call of Duty's lifespan and how many times we've been through this. Having a Call of Duty that is generally thought of favorably, since we don't get them all the time anymore, does raise the energy around the entire industry. Does make this year of gaming feel just a little bit more, right? It really does, because we don't get that anymore like we used to. Like, every year used to be a big deal for Call of Duty. And, yeah, it still is. It's still one of the most popular, still one of the most played games every single freaking year. But just, it doesn't have that overall aura, as the kids like to say, that we used to get from Call of Duty back in the day. But this year, it does. It's got a little bit of that. And it feels different. So, pretty cool, man. Hey, anybody real quick, NZXT, good makers of pre-built, they got a nice little 1080 PC deal right now. If anybody's looking to get started in PC gaming for a nice little 1080, it's got an RTX 3060 in it, with an i5, $599 right now. And NZXT makes great pre-builts. $599. Not a bad start. Again, for a pre-built from NZXT, which you're paying premium because it's NZXT. But if you're just looking for a 1080 PC, not a bad one right there.
Okay, so this is what I was found.
Oh,
okay.
Did you find it?
I had to go down the rabbit hole because it was like a comment of a comment of a comment.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yep. So somebody was like, game is super varied, very competent entry into the COD franchise. I'm fairly confident that the Game Pass thing for this makes a huge difference in DAU. Can't speak to the unit sales part. Can say that when Battle Pass starts soon, we'll see another bump. And now here is Matt Piscatella replying to that, saying, "Oh, the positive impact on engagement is crystal clear." Talking specifically to Game Pass.
Yeah.
About Game Pass, right?
About Game
It's
Pass.
crystal clear. Big gap between Xbox Series and PS5 on that mark.
Whoa.
The sales question is far trickier and really depends on what someone defines as success. He says.
Fair enough. Okay.
Right. So, and then the guy said, hard to calculate how many Game Pass Ultimate subs COD has gathered as well. Sales can be a very misleading stat in terms of units sold. I think calculating LTV on a player in the ecosystem and the contribution to that is probably a better indicator. Matt said, sure, but that's never the debate I hear, either publicly or with different clients. It's always impact on sales specifically, which is why I framed it that way. But yeah, basically, he said that the thing that jumped out to me was on the positive impact of engagement is crystal clear, and that there's a big gap between Xbox Series and PS5 on that mark.
Okay. It makes total sense, man. Again, 58% of Xbox players downloaded it and started playing it, right? So,
yeah.
Again, we're talking, let's just say 35 million off the top. Let's just say 35 million of Game Pass, over 17 million players.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot of people at one time to be playing the game. So, yeah, it's going to probably come out pretty damn well a landslide on that side versus the purchases, right, from PS5. But still, again, up 25%, 24% in the UK for PS5 shows that PS players are enjoying the hell out of it. It was number one on their Circana charts for most played games. So I'm sure the sales are going to be damn impressive on the PlayStation side as well, too. But obviously, monthly active users, Xbox again is going to carry just because it's available everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, so really cool stuff, man. Really cool stuff. Glad to see it. Like you said, just adds a little extra special flavor to this year. That's all. Oh, all right, Mavo. We got a good look at a couple of games this week. We got another look at, of course, Compulsion and Compulsion's new game of South of Midnight, right? Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
The documentary. Yep.
Yeah, the documentary. We got a whole documentary. This is normally something that we, it was similar to what we, a much longer version of what we kind of see during directs, right? Xbox directs. Curious, Mav. Curious. Does this mean this game's coming earlier than expected because it's not going to make the first direct of 2025? Could we see this drop early? Because it is a little interesting that they decided to do it this way now, right? In November of 2024. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on this too. Obviously, just overall in the documentary. Again, I don't know if Compulsion themselves did this documentary or if this was with the help of Tina Meany and her team that do the directs and do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff for Xbox. I'd be curious. This had that same really high quality.
Yeah. I'm sure it was probably
extremely well directed, right? Extremely well paced, like how they broke down kind of the dev cycle, the dev team, talking about the game, the inspiration behind the game, just interesting as all hell. Kept my attention the entire time. It's about 30 minutes long. But my God, Mav, again, South of Midnight is on my list, of course. It looks super cool. I love the characters. I love the stop motion.
Which they said you can actually turn off.
Yes, I was gonna mention. They have confirmed, again, Compulsion has confirmed you can turn it off. Yep, like Mav just said. They also confirmed that the game length is just about 12 hours. So it's gonna be another short adventure experience. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. That's totally cool. But I definitely got more information about the background on the team. I loved seeing them actually go down south where they took some of the main devs, the leads and stuff, got to go on a week or 2 week, I think, trip down south and visit some of the areas down there across the southern part of the U.S. to get the atmosphere, to get they brought in a woman, I forget her name, I apologize, but she tells mythical stories from the South, and she came to them in Canada and spent a week with them telling them stories. And that's where they pulled some of the creatures inspiration from, at least. Just, again, that's why I love seeing these. Not everyone is going to interest me, and not all of them really grab my attention, but this one with South of Midnight definitely did, just because it's such a cool, different type of setting for a game that we don't see a lot of, Mav. And they had a story basically for everything of how they came to create this game. And I really do like compulsion games in general. So We Happy Few, I know most people didn't like it. I thought it was a good game. Again, I saw that they needed more time and more money, but I saw the potential. But I really liked where they were going with We Happy Few. This is completely different than that game. But I still just found this really compelling to watch. What did you feel about the Compulsion Games documentary, Mav?
Yeah, I was again blown away by the animation of like the combat and just the movement and the
Yeah, the movement
world
was
that they're
cool.
building.
Yeah.
The characters, the combat scene with the giant alligator thing. Like, wow,
Yes.
that's like really impressive, dude. Like people that like third person action games, like this looks really solidly well made in that genre, just for that. But yeah, overall, I loved how they built it off of the storytelling from the person that they brought in to tell them this folklore and read these stories and stuff, and that inspired them. I liked how the first guy that started out was talking about that, he's always interested in that stuff, and he'll like go on walks to the woods and all these kind of things and imagine stuff, and it's kind of inspired a lot of things from this. Like, it's interesting just to hear that kind of stuff in general about like the inspiration, what creates a game, right? Especially a newer original IP, something that we haven't really seen a game specifically like this before. Set with this setting, kind of a love letter to the setting as well, right? So those are my biggest takeaways from it. It only has increased my hype for it. Um, as far as like the possibility about it being earlier, I was thinking there would be a larger chance at that if we had gotten a window at the end of this thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
The fact that we didn't get that kind of
I was
leads me to
hoping for
think
one.
that it might be maybe middle of the year or later
Think
in the year
so.
next year.
Why
I
do you
don't
think they
know.
did this then? Let me ask you that.
I
Why do
don't
you think they
know.
did this over saving this for a direct? Like, again, they wouldn't do the full 30 minutes, so I understand. But wouldn't you, just in my mind, like if they were going to do this, right, and it's later, they would save and cut this down for the direct, but then they release the full thing afterwards, on Xbox Wire. Oh, if you want to see the full documentary on behind the scenes of South of Midnight, go check out, us, go check it out at the
Yeah.
YouTube. I just think, like, to me, that's just how I thought. Like, that's why I was caught off guard when all of a sudden it became a 30-minute documentary, and I started watching. I said, this is direct quality. I mean,
Well,
this
what
is
if they
like,
like did something
yeah,
crazy and like shadow dropped this thing at like the Game Awards or
man,
something like that?
I don't know. I think 25. Maybe they'll do a date at the Game Awards. Maybe there'll be a final
Right.
trailer, a gameplay trailer. That's why
Yeah.
they did this. There'll be a final
They
gameplay
increase the
trailer and then
hype
a
for
date.
it in
Yeah,
conversation so people are
yeah.
more excited when they see it at the Game
Yeah,
Awards.
because a lot of people, I saw a lot of positive reactions to
Yeah.
this from, a lot of people across, not just Xbox people, but a lot of people who watched it really had some really positive things to say about it, and they really liked it. So yeah, maybe that is like, maybe it does have something to do with Game Awards. It's a good thought, Mav. I don't know if
Yeah,
a shadow drop, but maybe the date, the final gameplay trailer, and then the date there, and it is shortly in 2025. Like, it's
yeah.
almost out the gate.
So we got it's 2025 for Xbox. You got February 18th is Avowed,
Yep,
right?
correct.
We know Adam falls in Game Pass day and date in March. I don't know if they really would worry about that or whatever, but I've been trying to place this thing, you know. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know the dates for like.
Yeah.
I don't think we know the dates for Doom or Fable or what was the other one for next year?
Doom, Fable,
Doom,
South of
South of
Midnight,
Midnight.
and what the hell? Why are we
Avowed.
Avowed? Oh,
Wait,
of
no,
course,
what we
Avowed.
said
You just
about
said it. You
Avowed.
just said Avowed.
No,
I just said Avowed.
Avowed, South of
South of
Midnight,
Midnight, Doom, and
Doom,
Fable.
and
Yep.
Fable.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Jez is
So
hinting that there's more too, by the way.
yeah, there will be for sure. So
Clockwork Revolution, I'm still on board. I'm still saying
yeah.
surprise next year. Anyways, go ahead.
So what if this slots somewhere between Indiana Jones and Avowed? I mean, it'd be January sometime. I mean, it's possible. I'm trying to think about why it wouldn't be at the Dev Direct. So maybe there's something else. Maybe this was planned for the Dev Direct, right? And they didn't want to do it in December because the Game Awards, right?
Yeah.
So they decided to do this now. The Dev Direct is in January, and then they got Avowed in February. So maybe something else took its place at the Dev Direct.
It's possible. Yeah.
That's the other reason it could make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. Like
I don't know. It was just caught me off guard when to see
it is weird to see this whole long ass documentary about this game now, not knowing when it's coming out, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, for marketing, it still worked regardless. So
Oh yeah.
let's say
for
it is in middle of or later next year. I think this still would have helped it, but it would have made more sense to do this closer to the launch, if that's the case.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
That was my thing. That's what I was thinking too, right? It just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I am leaning that it's coming out sooner than later, and that's why they want to do this. And again, now that you brought up the Game Awards, I could totally see a release date, final trailer there, or something like that, where they wanted to have this initial hype. Why didn't they do a direct now again? That's another question. Like, okay, well, maybe they just didn't have enough content. Maybe it's just, because they just did the shows over the summer, they just decided that this wasn't a good time to do one. But yeah, I just thought it was great. It was well done, and yeah, I really like the look of it.
The other thing to why this wouldn't be at the direct is because they wanted to give this more time.
Sure.
Because they gave 30 minutes.
Right.
So you wouldn't spend 30 minutes on one game at a direct.
No, that's what I was saying. That I was thinking that they would have like a cut down version of this, right?
Yeah.
And then say if you want to see the full documentary, we've got the full 30-minute documentary after you do the direct. That's what I was saying. Like, that part totally. That's why I said, no. This is way too long for a direct. Yeah, you would never do this. The pacing would be totally thrown off if you threw this whole thing in there. But I thought it was fantastic.
Those back to back to back.
Oh yeah. No. It was fantastic though. Anybody who hasn't gone watch it, please go do so. Lots of new gameplay in there. Like Mav said, the traversal stuff. They showed off a lot of the traversal in this too, as well as the big alligator with the boss fight. They kind of gave you a glimpse of that as well. And Mav, like Mav said, it was impressive looking. Okami wrapped up too real quick from some of the South of Midnight kind of previews set in the American South, which we knew, comparisons to Kena, Bridge of Spirits, face off against mythic creatures from Southern folklore who control each region. That's right. They did say that each region was broken down and was going to have a different boss, which would each area is going to have its own theme that you're in too, which is cool, right? So it's not going to be just the same kind of atmosphere in each area. It's going to be very unique. So you're going to see different things. Hazel is a weaver who uses magic, white threads to control the world around her, traverse the world with a double jump, air dodge, grapple, glide, and more. Unique stop motion animation style, high praise for the soundtrack and the audio design, third person action combat, Unreal 4. So we did find out that it's targeting 60 frames per second on both the Series X and Series S because it is Unreal Engine 4, which is cool. Coming 2025 to Xbox Series XS, PC, and Game Pass. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, if you're interested in the game at all and you don't mind behind the scenes stuff because you just you like to see some stuff that maybe you would be surprised, but you don't care about that, go watch it. It's well done. It's very good. It's
very good.
Yes.
God Emperor Sofa King hit us with a very generous $2 super chat saying, calling it Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, launch day.
Ooh. March 4th. It'd be 2 weeks after Avowed. Is that long enough for booty? Again, I can't think like me, Mav. I can't go to myself, oh, well, it's a completely different genre. It's a 12-hour, kind of platformer action game compared to Avowed, which is obviously an RPG. For me, it wouldn't matter. But for booty, 2 weeks enough? It might be too close for booty. I think he wants to give Avowed more time. Yeah.
They did Forza Horizon and Halo Infinite about 2 weeks apart.
They did, but that was the beginning of the generation.
Yeah.
It was different, right? The way Booty's been doing things. Oh, that's right. By the way, there was another article. I don't know where it came from, but Phil somewhere did double down and say they didn't move Avowed because the game needed more time. He did double down and say it was simply because there were so many games there.
Right. I saw that. And they're still releasing on February 18th. Man, February is
Yes, they locked in.
crazy.
February is
Insanity.
Monster Hunter Wilds, by the way.
It's gonna be huge.
It's going to be massive. Again, it number 2 on Steam for a demo. It was I think it made top 10 for PlayStation as well. It wasn't on the Xbox side in Circana, but it actually made the PlayStation side as well. Capcom's going to knock this. It's another home run. Like this is going to be the biggest Monster Hunter they've had. And remember, Monster Hunter Worlds has now sold, I think, 25 million copies at this point. Might be approaching 30 million. Monster Hunter Wilds is going to crush it. Steel is doing a full Monster Hunter World, by the way. Selfish plug for Living Split Screen's channel, but Steel is doing a Monster Hunter World to Wilds tour. So he's playing through Monster Hunter World right now. I want to join him. I've been thinking about picking up on PC. That's how hyped he is. He's like, this might turn into a Monster Hunter channel. Yeah, because of how good it is. Monster Hunter Wilds is looking fantastic. But yeah, February in general with Assassin's Creed Shadows, Avowed, Monster Hunter Wilds. What else is that month? We're getting Civ 7 that month as well. And then I think is there one more that month too?
Oh yeah, no, there's I had a post. I'm calling it "Fuck Me February."
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to find my post, so I'm actually going to type in "Fuck Me February."
The one and only C Unit coming through, Mr. Chris Jones. That's right. Please, everybody, if you get an opportunity, go check out lordsofgaming.net. Shout out to Iron Lords Podcast. Shout out to all their writers, including C Unit, Mr. Chris Jones over at the lordsofgaming.net. Go check them out, man. They got a lot of freaking talented writers over there, always putting out good articles. So go check it out. But he dropped a 5 bomb. That's right. Got on the court with the easy 5 and said, because I haven't been able to catch Pong live in a couple weeks. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the support so much, man. But again, everybody do go check out lordsofgaming.net. The Iron Lords, man. You know what it is over there, man. Nothing but talent. So anyways.
All right, so this is what we got for February of the bigger games. There's also some like Lost Tapes, Bloom and Rage, which looks really good, and some other stuff like that, right? But here we go. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Hit me.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, February 11th.
Oh, that's right. Kingdom Come 2. I totally forgot about Kingdom Come. Oh my God. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Civ 7, February 11th.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed Shadows, February 14th. Avowed, February 18th.
4D chess, booty. 4D chess. Way to go.
Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, February 21st.
That's right.
Monster Hunter Wilds, February 28th.
Nah.
Those are all.
If that was the first half of the year, we'd be that would be stellar. Like if that was like your first half of the year, that's one freaking month.
Again, Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be the biggest one out of all these, right? I Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii looks absolutely awesome. Avowed, it looks. By the way, speaking of Avowed, they showed the new trailer today for the pre-order.
Yes.
God, it looks so good, man. Like every time I see it now, it's just looking better and better and better. I didn't see what all comes with the early access.
It's actually not much. It's early access. It's some digital outfits. There's no DLC in there at all. So it's kind of a weaker upgrade, I would say. But
are they charging 25 or 35?
25.
Okay.
$24.99 for the premium upgrade.
The trailer looks so good, man. I was watching. I was like, oh, my eyes were melting. I can't wait to play this fucking game. It's Assassin's Creed Shadows. It says Civ 7 and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I mean, just like I don't know how
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is going to be massive on PC. Like the fan base, like that team is passionate as hell, but what they're doing with it, because Kingdom Come became an kind of a cult thing and then blew up, right? Because it was a AA game trying to be a AAA open world game, and that team went way out of side of what they normally do. It had performance problems and still did well. Like that's one of those games that broke through everything on the PC side, became a cult classic, and really grew a fan base over the years. I think they finally passed 8 million or 10 million sold. The hype around Kingdom Come 2 because of what the team learned and what they're presenting now and how that game looks, it's gonna be big game on PC. Big game.
Buzz has a question for us real quick.
Yeah.
Says Mav Pong, either of you familiar with Project TH? It's a game made in Korea that's being described as Splinter Cell action, confirmed for Game Pass.
I think I saw a screenshot of that one. Forgive me. I will have to look at it just to see if that's the one I saw. I see a lot of things that I scroll through and take a look at real quick, but I think that is yes, that's the one we did see. Did we not see a trailer for this one somewhere? We did, I think.
I remember there was
Yeah,
one
remember
that we
that?
were like, wow, that
Yes.
looks like Splinter Cell.
Yeah, it
you
looks
know?
like Splinter. Yeah, it looks like It looked like Metal Gear meets Splinter Cell, right? That's what it looked like. Yes, I think this is the one. Yes, I have seen this one. Project TH, interactive drama, action adventure title by EVR Studio, Korean developer, coming to PS, PlayStation, Xbox Series, and PC. Also day one on Game Pass. Again, Phil, you said you want to, go make. I will continue to pound this table. I understand Japan is the old school. It's the celebrity of video games. I get it. And you want a studio there. I understand. But by God, man, if you're not going to make a big purchase like Sega and you're looking for a small purchase, please go into Korea. Please go into South Korea and pick up one or two smaller studios out of there. The talent in Korea is absolutely, I mean, again, China, Korea, and Japan. You're not going to buy a studio in China. Okay. It's not going to happen with the government. Okay. Whatever. You're not going to do that. But Korea, South Korea, go get a studio, Phil, or get two studios. Man, the talent over there, Mav, right now. These games look too good to be real. And then now they've been coming out and they're all real. It's just nuts, man.
Yeah, this looks really good.
It does, doesn't it? It looks fantastic, bro. It really does.
Antonio Newman says, I know I'm just like getting sidetracked with the chat, but says, please rank the 2025 confirmed games based on y'all's excitement levels.
It's impossible. Do you know how many games there are? We'll be here all night. That's a whole other show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you just talking about Xbox? You're talking about Xbox?
It says Xbox confirmed games. I mean,
Xbox confirmed games. Okay. So we'll just do the 4, right? That we know. So Fable, Doom.
Well, does the Game Pass stay and date like our marketing type games?
We're going to be here forever if we do
first
that.
party.
Shit,
okay.
Let's just do first party big titles. Because I mean, we know Towerborn's going to be next year. We know all let's just do first party big. Let's do Fable, Doom, Avowed, and South of Midnight.
Okay. That's it for you?
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know. I was just naming them off, so you knew what we were talking about. Okay, you want me to rank first?
I already know mine, so
okay.
If you want me to go first, I will.
Go ahead.
You go okay. For me, it's easy. Fable, number 1.
Okay.
Avowed, number 2.
Yep.
Doom, and then South of Midnight.
Okay.
However, I'm really excited for all 4, so it's really hard. Like if it's at 4 there, it's not like I'm not excited for this. It's like, it's up there.
Okay.
I just I'm excited for all 4 of these games a lot. South of Midnight, Doom, you can catch me on a different day, and I might say flip them, right? I want to see another trailer for Doom. I think the first trailer they had was absolutely amazing, but I want to see more of it, and it could flop between the two. But I know Fable's going to remain number 1.
Okay.
And Avowed will remain number 2. And those are really close also.
Okay. Right now it's Avowed number 1. And it's simply because I know what Obsidian's going to give me in terms of the entire game and how the game is going to flow and what I'm going to be doing in that game. I understand completely what Obsidian does with their RPGs, right? Outer Worlds. I know what that game's going to be. So Avowed is number 1 now. It was my most anticipated Xbox game this year. So that's going to continue into next year. Fable is obviously a very close number 2. The only reason why Fable isn't number 1 is because I still don't know mechanically how the RPG systems are going to be and what Playground's doing with the RPG systems, right? If I knew what Playground was doing and they were going with a somewhat classic style RPG system in the new Fable or a similar system to what we had in the old Fables, let's just put it that way, Fable probably be number 1 over Avowed. But right now it's Avowed number 1, Fable number 2, Doom is number 3 only because of the setting, Mav. Only because they are giving me dark fantasy Doom with what looks to be a lot less platforming than Eternal, which is what I hated about Eternal. and I get to ride a freaking dragon, and I have a shield with blades on it, a chainsaw shield that I can throw. Like that again, Doom is right there with me, number 3, and then South of Midnight, number 4. And that's no shade to South of Midnight. Again, it's not fully my type of game, but the art style, the stories, the different stuff that they showed off now with the characters, loving all that stuff. So South of Midnight is definitely something I want to play. It's just not overall my style of game that I have huge amounts of looking forward to. But yeah, that's where I'd rank them now. So I can't wait for a Avowed. Look at how Avowed
I know,
looks, bro.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just my kind of game,
Yeah.
dude. Love it.
Yeah. And Fable does look absolutely amazing. Again, if I knew what the RPG mechanics were, we haven't seen any of that. If I knew what Playground was going to do with the RPG mechanics, I could easily put Fable number 1, but they would Avowed still be a close number 2, like Matt said. They're 1A, 1B for me, basically. It's just because I just don't know. There's too much unknown with Fable yet.
For me, it's like Fable is just like a franchise I've just been wanted to come back and like come back in a huge way, you know. So love it.
Yeah, 3-bit, go ahead and tell me what the RPG mechanic system is going to be in Fable.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and give us all the deets. 3-bit. What do you got to worry about?
Vertung, what is that?
Vertung and
Mogom. Yeah, okay. Magom. Says it's maybe not time for it still. We definitely will see more of it in a direct or June showcase. I'm curious, what do you think about Fable? Looks great. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Again, I have the utmost faith in Playground. So
the last trailer we saw, they had the shots of the like actual town and stuff. And it's like Fable vibes all the way there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying for Tongue. And again, Fable wasn't your classic turn-based RPG, or there was an action game. It was an action RPG. That's cool. Like, I have zero problem with that. And that's kind of the vibe I got. Like I said, I just want to see mechanically, like, are we going to have skills? Are we leveling up like normal in an RPG? Like, how are they doing this? Is this turning into a straight up action adventure game? Like, that's what I need to see. Like, I have the utmost faith in Playground, and I think it's going to be a great game no matter what. I just need to see that for me.
I think snipers are coming after.
Yeah, exactly. No, God Emperor, not yet. It's on my list, but again, I have so many games to play, but I will be getting to it. Psychonauts is playing it though, so we'll probably hear about it if Psycho can join us.
It looks so good too, man. We watched the trailer when we're doing tidbits on Monday.
Gorgeous, bro.
Dual Entitlement 2.
Yep, Dual Entitlement 2, which is going to entice me, of course. We also got a gameplay for Arc Raiders, Mav, by the way.
God, yeah, it looks so good.
Bro, it looks so freaking good.
All these damn games, man.
That's next year too, bro.
I know.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, Arc Raiders did launch a new gameplay trailer to show off what they've been working on. Of course, this is from Embark Studio. For anybody who doesn't know, Embark Studio is the former Battlefield devs who earlier this year, right? Yeah, it was this year. Yeah, early this year, brought us. What's the name of the game? Holy shit, I just lost it again.
The Finals.
The Finals. Thank you. The Finals, which turned into wildly successful for them, especially on PC. The Finals, out of nowhere, they dropped that little game. They've been working on Arc Raiders. We didn't know the Finals was in development. They dropped the Finals, and it becomes like this game, money-making game for them. Like, it's because it's ex-Battlefield devs. Like, when Battlefield was in its prime, these are the good devs, right? So they obviously have zero problem, but Arc Raiders is the game that most of us have been waiting on, and this is that PvEVP or PvPvE extraction shooter. Now, again, flinch or say, oh god, extraction. Listen, go watch the gameplay trailer. It looks like the Division, a slower paced Division is what it looks like, set in a cool ass world, Mav. Like, everything looked good. It sounded great. The guns already look good. Like, third person.
Yeah, I mean, it looks. I have the footage up now. It's you hit it on the nail on the head when you said Division, because it gave me Division vibes just from like the way everybody's walking around together, looting and looking around these environments and going around, and then like the combat looks great. The character models and the animations. There's one specific part right here. The animation of just climbing on
Climbing up.
top of that was like a little different, but really good. Like overall, this game looks fantastic. Look at that world, man.
Yes.
Like
Yeah. There's
you can
lots of
go
areas to go, bro.
anywhere. You know,
Yes.
like it just I
Yes.
want to explore this. This map looks really good. Like I just want to play this game. I want to get into this world, bro.
Yep.
It looks awesome.
It does look awesome. So that was a really good showing this week from them. Kind of surprise showing. And don't forget, Phil did go visit Embark Studios. Like, oh, I don't know. We pulled that tweet from like
years ago.
2017 or 2018 when they first formed that
Mhm.
studio. Phil went and visited them. So he's been all over this from day one. So, but looking forward to Embark, or looking forward to Arc Raiders. And that's next year as well. So just add another one to 2025. It's great. It's fantastic. We don't have enough to play next year. Anyways, especially a game like that.
Like you said, we're peaking.
Yeah, we're peaking. We are definitely peaking. Ubisoft delayed another project. Project U is back at the drawing board after 5 years of development. This is from Insider Gaming, of course. I put it in the DMs, Mav, and I'm being dead serious. I would not say this about 99% of the studios out there, but this is like Ubisoft. We could create a gamers council by Ubisoft and run it better than Yves and the family. I'm not even joking. I don't care about the business side of things. I don't care about any of that shit. Just straight up, we would do a better job of putting out games for Ubisoft, getting games and greenlighting games for Ubisoft than that family entire leadership group. I don't say that lightly about any other studio. I'm just telling you. So this game, Project U, is officially announced in 2022 as a revolutionary new kind of session-based cooperative shooter. But after over 2 years since the announcement, nothing publicly about the game has yet to be announced. That's because Project U, internally codenamed Pathfinder, quietly returned to the drawing board in spring of 2024 following issues surrounding the game's replayability. Bro, you can't make it up, man. You can't.
Yeah, it's typical Ubisoft, right? Let's experiment with these things, tinker behind the scenes, cancel, change, and all this stuff. Years later, you might see some kind of version of it that's going to epically fail. I don't know, man. I wish they had like, this is another thing about chasing models, probably, and chasing certain ideas of how they think they can make money and all this other kind of stuff, as opposed to like, hey, this sounds like an awesome idea for a game. Let's make it. And they make the game and then it releases. You know, I'm like, there's certain publishers that are doing that really well. Ubisoft is the worst with this stuff, man.
Oh God, it makes me upset, man. Even thinking about it, like how many other games they could have been made. How many Splinter Cells could we have had instead they're canceled or back to the drawing board projects, bro?
I don't know. They haven't had a Splinter Cell this generation or last now, so
I just don't understand, man. I want to get to one final topic here, Mav, too. I know we're approaching 3 hours, so I know I want to get you out of here. Respect your time as well. I do want to get to one final topic, the topic where I said I have some questions, Mav. But I do want to mention this too as well for anybody who's been listening to Mav and I for a while now, and obviously our love of RTSs. You've heard us talk so highly about Age of Empires, both 2 and 4, but we played a lot of 2 Definitive Edition. If you guys have not jumped into that yet, listen, if you jump into it now, they're giving the 3 DLCs, because they're coming out with new DLC now. The 3 previous DLCs, Lords of the West, Dawn of the Dukes, and Dynasties of India, are all included in the base game with any future purchase now. So they're just throwing all that DLC in there, which is dope. I bought them all already. Obviously, I own all of them. But Age of Empires 2 continues to grow because they're dropping the new expansion. Matt, I saw you like my retweet of it. It looks awesome. Like they're adding more cultures. Yeah. It just looks dope, man. They just keep adding to this game. It's freaking amazing.
It's crazy. All of them. You know, they just keep adding so much stuff to them. Like they're better ran franchises with content and stuff than those. Maybe I don't know. It's
It's
glorious.
support. This is glorious, man. But now it's time to jump in. Aura History Untold for anybody playing that.
Yeah.
Like Mav and I have been on PC, gets its first major update today. So that updated. Streamline your strategies. They've got tons of Xbox Wire posted all the update details. So you can go read that if you're playing Aura History of Untold. Again, the list of games map getting supported to is getting outrageous. Every time I look, there's like a new update to a game like that's in our ecosystem. Like it's like, oh, what are they doing now? Oh, they're just updating this for free. Okay, cool, great. What do we got going on? It is nuts how many games there are right now. Man, union workers at Bethesda have gone on strike. There we go. They got they got their wish. So a bunch of you, a pretty big, I think it was like 200 people, I think, went on strike at Bethesda. So this is the first test of the unions really in a big way for Xbox or for Microsoft, I should say, since they allowed people to go do this. So they are trying to get better working conditions. They don't like the contracted workers in and out. They want, they want to remain and be paid like full-time employees. Lots of different things, especially for the quality assurance testers. So they are on strike right now, but that's, hey, more power to you. That's, you guys got what you wanted.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
See what
Xbox
happens.
said, Microsoft said, hey, we're going to allow this, and we're going to allow unions, and this is happening. So we'll see if the negotiation, what happens with that. So interesting stuff, man.
It is. It is very interesting. All right. Final topic, quick topic. But I wanted you to get your thoughts on this map because I can't justify it in my head, and I can't think of reasons why. So maybe chat can help on this one too. So for anybody who doesn't know, we had the Warcraft 30 direct too, as well. 30th anniversary this week. If you guys didn't watch it, pretty cool. Was hoping for some console announcements. We didn't get any of that, right? I was hoping for a surprise announcement, like really it's Warcraft 30, like you're under Xbox now. Just tell me you're working on it. Like that, I don't need like, oh, it's out today. Just tell me you're working on something, right? We had talked about this, Matt, because there was rumors that Warcraft, and again, for people who don't know, before World of Warcraft, the MMO, Warcraft was an RTS, right? It was a very popular giant RTS. In fact, they made 3 of them, okay? So, but they still have them. They still play today, but they are now updating them. We had rumors about the remasters. So they started off with this, with the Warcraft remasters. And they are coming out with what they call their new, Blizzard's always done a thing, for those that don't know, called battle chess, when they launch multiple, like a game and its expansions or whatever the case. They call it a battle chest. Okay. So they're launching another battle chest on BattleNet for the Warcraft 1 and 2 remasters. And they've redone a bunch of different things to them too. They've actually gone and done the AI and stuff as well, along with 3. So they got a whole new battle chest only available on BattleNet now. So again, for anybody who doesn't know, World of Warcraft, right? Warcraft itself, these games from Blizzard, not available on Steam, right? They lock them down to BattleNet, right? Obviously, so they don't have to pay another outside. And because they're so big and so popular, and Blizzard has been a powerhouse, obviously, they can do that, right? They can ignore Steam. They can ignore Epic. They can ignore GOG. They can ignore all these other storefronts and just sell it through BattleNet. And BattleNet's been known to be a great, piece of software. That was something, again, as far as a storefront goes, we talked about it during the ABK acquisition, that it would be great if Xbox could just integrate that into Windows PC and like make that the Windows PC storefront because of how good BattleNet is. But anyways, I saw Warcraft. I'm like, oh, PC. Oh, come on. We're going to put this in PC Game Pass, right? This is first party now. PC Game Pass, right? We just got StarCraft. Let's do Warcraft. Let's announce this right now. No announcement, no hints, just locked to BattleNet. And why I bring this up, Mav, and why I wanted to ask it was because of what we talked about earlier. Avowed, when it was announced today for pre-purchase, Avowed, not a Blizzard product, not an Activision product, not a part of ABK at all, right? Obsidian. So a first party Xbox Game Studio, Avowed, is being made available for sale on BattleNet.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Like, you gave us StarCraft 1 and 2, which is super dope. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate that. Still got to download them and start playing StarCraft 2. But wait a minute, Phil. You're going to put Avowed over there on BattleNet, day one, available for purchase. And it's not that big a deal to obviously do that. You guys have zero. It doesn't sound like you had zero problems. Why is Blizzard not making Warcraft, the remasters, available for PC Game Pass and available in the Windows PC store? Why is that not day one? Again, I'm not asking for the whole slate. Again, they've been really slow on this roll, Mav, of this back catalog and all this stuff. I understand there's work that has to be done, but why can't you offer it? Like, that's your first party. We're supposed to be getting our first party stuff in Game Pass. Like, I understand it, and I'm being a little halfway sheepish here just because of the conversation, but I still do have, I'm genuinely like, wait a minute, why can't we do this? What do you think it is, Matt? Because I can't come up with a good reason outside of you want to make sales. Like, that's the only thing I can think of.
I was trying to think of it because, like, it was also weird that it's just Avowed going so far into Battle.net.
Yes.
Like, because like Indiana Jones could, right?
I mean, we might get an announcement that it is,
or yeah, which would make even more sense. But like, I don't know, like, because it's. I was trying to just figure out, like, why, why specifically to certain decisions, and I have a hard time coming up with any specific answers to that, like, and I was thinking, okay, so maybe it's just they are, like, in one of his interviews today, he talked about the onboarding still of ABK.
Correct. Yeah.
And maybe just overall, it is just a fucking monster, and they are so occupied with all these different things that they're doing that things like this just keep, like, there's not like a everything's going to happen this way answer right now, right? With where they're putting games or this, because it's like there seems to be, like, different things happening with different games that I don't understand why this is this and this is that, and that, know. So and the only thing I could think of is just, like, they're still trying to get everything streamlined, You could say, like, sales, that they want to focus on just selling a little bit more, but, like, I think that collection is eventually going to be in PC Game Pass, and I don't know how much it's going to sell anyway. It probably would have actually done better.
Well,
you've
got the BattleNet purists, right? A lot like the Steam guys, right? That won't go into any storefront, right? There's Blizzard fans that refuse to buy outside of BattleNet just because that's what they know. BattleNet's like their spot. So I understand, like, Avowed going in there, because there's, like, a group of people that won't buy on another storefront, and, like, if they've got it, or if they do, like, if it's just easier for them because they're in BattleNet all the time, they see Avowed and they're like, oh, we'll buy that.
Why not the other games then, though?
Right, but why not the other games, right? What is this, a test bed game? Did they decide because it's high fantasy, because it's I kind of fits in with the other Blizzard stuff? I don't know. And then, like I said, in reverse, it can't be that hard if they really wanted to put that war chest onto Windows storefront, Windows PC storefront, and throw it into PC or Windows or PC Game Pass. It can't be that hard. It can't be. Like, it doesn't mean you have to offer it everywhere, but it's weird.
StarCraft, it's available via Game Pass via Battle.net. Right?
Yes, because that's the place where you could buy it, right? You could buy that still.
Right. They didn't put those in the Xbox PC store.
Aren't they? Don't they have to be the Xbox, or is it only through Battle?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up because I didn't
look it up.
I already had them on Battle.net, so I didn't even look. I'm like launching the Xbox.
I know.
This is an Xbox.
This is an Xbox, everybody.
Let me look at my Xbox that I'm here actually podcasting from.
Yeah, StarCraft's in there. StarCraft's
okay, so they moved it. So that's why then because they just didn't do the work to move it over to. Maybe because it actually took them some time. I don't know.
If they got Avowed in battle, it can't be. It's a storefront, brother. Come on, man.
But I'm talking about the multiplayer aspect of it, of the servers. And
that's true. I mean, again, but they moved the multiplayer for the StarCraft. It's just because
But yeah, but
I don't know.
that took them a long time to finally announce and do.
Yeah, it's true.
So, like, that's the only other thing I can think of is, like, they just weren't ready yet, but they wanted to go ahead and put it out because of the anniversary.
Maybe. I mean, it makes sense for the anniversary, obviously. It's a
Yeah.
big deal for the Warcraft fans. Like, I almost want to go buy it and start playing
Yeah,
Warcraft
it's like
again.
there's a reason, like,
Yeah.
because they just got Spyro, they just got the StarCraft stuff. They,
Bro.
you know, they just finally had, and they announced this, which was like, cool. I got excited. I was like, oh, what? It's not a Game Pass, or like it's
Right.
on only on Battle.net. Oh, okay, well, I'll just wait a little bit and see what happens there. I don't know.
I don't know either, man. I
They
just
look
wish.
great though.
Again, Bethesda dumps were big dumps. Like, I don't understand what's taking so long with the back catalog of Activision, especially. Like, it's still kind of irking me a little bit. Over a year now after the acquisition, that we haven't gotten more. Again, it's first world problems. I get it. Like, again, it's like there's not like games I'm waiting on that I haven't purchased. But man, can you at least tell us if you're getting like the licensing back for Transformers, or you get the licensing back for Marvel Ultimate Alliance? But can you just drop like the Tony Hawks? Like, just do that. Like, if you want to space out the Call of Duties, like, I totally get it. But give me the Tony Hawks, man. Like, just I don't know. It's just irking me a little bit. But anyways, first world problems. Overall, I just wanted to talk about it because I thought maybe you might have a better idea, and you might be right about the multiplayer servers.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a thing. I don't know either.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. So just a little weird. And again, if Avowed's a test bed, so be it. I do think that's cool, and I kind of understand that. Again, for all those people who are just pretty much locked into BattleNet most of their time, to see Avowed sitting there, maybe they will just have some people pick it up that wouldn't have normally purchased it anywhere else. Like, that's certainly a thing. So, like, that's fine. Just give me the Warcraft chest, man.
Yeah.
Anyways,
For sure. I'm sure we'll get it. We'll get it at some point.
Oh yeah, we'll get it at some point. I know that. No faith. I have utmost faith in that. But again, I kind of want to play it like right now. Like, I was like, oh, this looks damn cool, man. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got, man. You got anything else you want to touch on before we get everybody out of here?
No, I mean, not
Good?
really, man. It's just
Okay.
like Indiana Jones looked great.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about that last week. I can't remember when it came out, but I was just super impressed.
Oh no, we did not. Indiana Jones, go ahead, because I actually did not watch the Indiana Jones behind the scenes because I've seen enough Indiana Jones. I'm done. I don't need to see anymore. So actually, I did not go. Like, South of Midnight, I want to see more of, and I really was interested. Indiana Jones, I'm sold completely, and I just didn't have time. And I was just like, it's low priority for me to go watch it. So tell me what you saw. Tell me, was there anything? I guess what I heard, Mav, is that people are catching on that this is not going to be Uncharted or Tomb Raider.
Yeah, which they should have got after we saw the first.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, this was
Yeah.
the word going around, like, that, oh, people are going to be up and down with this game because it's not Uncharted or Tomb Raider. And I'm like,
yeah.
why did anybody think it was?
I gotta say, this game
Yeah.
just looks like it's gonna grab you.
Right.
And take you along for the ride. Again, yeah, we heard a lot of indie speaking.
Okay.
And Troy Baker.
Yeah. Still impressive?
Oh, even more so.
Okay. Can't wait.
Even more so. They showed different puzzles. They showed trying to escape out of a dangerous situation,
Yes.
They showed a couple of takeaways I talked about on FSP that stood out for me. Specifically regarding graphics, was the textures were like fucking amazing, bro.
Nice.
Like the detail, like
Mhm.
if a shirt is made out of a certain kind of fabric, you can tell. Like it is, everything is spot on. The Nazis, the helmets, the way that they're doled, like I haven't seen many games that nail like realistic looking textures for just random shit like this. Clothes specifically.
Right.
The graphics and the detail on the faces and the characters. I noticed a lot more of the humor in there as well.
Nice.
They went into some upgrade abilities and stuff as well. Like you can focus more on like, hey, if you want to be able to be a little bit stronger with your fisticuffs, or like if you I want to focus a little bit more on stealth or different things you can actually kind of upgrade
Yeah.
different things. They showed a lot of stealth stuff as well.
That's what I heard. Like stealth immersive sim, and I'm like, oh, well, okay,
Yeah.
this is getting even better. Like I knew that's kind of what it was, but when people really started saying, "Oh, this is definitely a stealth immersive,"
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. All right.
They showed interacting with the environment a lot and how that's going to work out. Using tools at your disposal around you and kind of using your head mainly. It's not like a fast paced, like, hey, super action game. It's just a thinking game where you're going
Like the
to be playing
movies.
at your pace, right? And you're trying to solve puzzles, figure out how to get out of
Right.
situations, and
Right.
you know, sometimes you got to fight, and you're gonna figure out how to do that. You got your revolver, your whip, you know, cool mechanic that's unlockable. If you get knocked down,
Yeah.
and like you're out, the hat will fall on the ground.
Yeah.
And if you crawl to it,
Yeah.
you can pick it back up, and you get a second chance.
Oh, sweet. I love it.
Yeah, so it's that
Okay,
typical,
okay.
like, indie dusting himself off and putting the hat on moment, you know what I mean?
Nice.
So that was like a cool little charming, like, ode to the movies, but actually making a gameplay
Machine
mechanic.
Games really pulled this off, bro. Okay.
But the second thing graphically that stood out for me in this, I don't know if this was what it was captured on, right?
Yeah, right.
But the lighting.
Okay.
And I think the lighting helps the texture thing as well, right?
Sure. Obviously.
But I noticed a lot with the lighting and how good the lighting looked in different areas with the shadows and how it was playing off of objects and interacting with the environment. It helped with the immersiveness of like the tombs that you're in and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm curious if like you do see this just specifically on the textures and the graphics and the lighting, right? And some aspects. See if certain things jump out to you like that, right?
Nice. I love what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it looked awesome, dude. It's like indie all the way. Indie all the way.
It's gonna look great on everything because I just think Machine Games is really under. Again, their talent is for people who played Wolfenstein, they know. But again, that's what they're known for. So some people don't know who they are. I hope more people try the indie game. I hope there's some indie fans out there that have never played a Machine Games because it sounds like Machine. Again, they from the get-go when we saw that whole first trailer, that long story trailer, and they nailed that whole entire scene on the battleship where it was like watching an indie movie. I knew. I was like, okay, Machine Games has knocked. This is it. Especially when Troy Baker pulled off the voice too. Again, I'm never been happier to be wrong about a voice actor than when I first heard Troy Baker was Indian. I was like, oh shit, he's gonna fuck. To when I heard him actually playing Indian, I was like, oh damn, he nailed it. Okay, he got as close as possible. So I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. Cool. Thank you for the rundown, Mav. I might have to go watch it again. It was just low priority this week with everything else going on because I'm sold. So whatever. Yeah, shout out to Troy Baker, 3-bit. You're right. Shout out. All right, everybody. Listen, it's been a great show. This is an Xbox. Again, if you all came in here late and were wondering, this is an Xbox. You're watching PM in the PM on an Xbox right now. Whatever that is, it's an Xbox. Pure and simple. And they're still going to make hardware. And they're not dying. And they're going to be around for 20, 30, 40 more years. So don't worry about it. We're all good. But thank you all for joining us on another episode of PM in the PM. Pong and Mav in the PM. I hope you guys enjoyed our discussions. We had some big discussions. We had some rants. I had a little bit of everything tonight. It was a fun time. Appreciate you all coming by and showing us love, whether you're here for 5 minutes or the entire time. Again, it's never expected, always appreciated. And if you were somebody who threw in some extra to us, again, never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you. Thank you for all the support and love and nothing but respect to each and every one of you. But Mav, what do we got going on for the rest of the week here? Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night. Got any streams coming up? What are you going to do?
Man, we'll have some fun conversations tomorrow night for XUP at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Then on the weekend, you know, you never know. I'm gonna try and see if we can't stream or play something. We got a lot to look forward to next week. There's some big games dropping, so
massive.
Gonna be excited for that. But yeah, come hang out, and then we'll be back Monday for FSP as well at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Looking ahead for a big week of gaming at that point on Xbox as well. On Xbox consoles. They exist. They still
do.
exist.
They do.
What about you, Pong Soul?
Well, obviously I'm going to try to make tomorrow night as I always do. If I'm a little bit late, I might be a little bit late, but I'm going to try to make it no matter what tomorrow night since I did miss last week. Yeah, otherwise, Saturday morning, buckle up and get ready. Steele and I will be back for another episode of Living Split Screen. You know how we do it: live, raw, and uncut, 3+ hours, depending on what we got going on that day. We did 5 last weekend, so that was Steele's work weekend, so he was dead, but we still did 5 because we just can't stop talking. So Living Split Screen every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time is where it all gets started. We'll take you from your morning to your afternoon to your night, depending on where you are in the world. So come join us and have a good time with me and Steele. We'll get the chat involved a lot, usually. And then, of course, Saturday night, keep your eyes open Saturday night. I think we've got it worked out because of PTK's weird time zone that he's in, where he doesn't change with the rest of us and his work schedule. He wasn't going to be able to do the hours unless we pushed it back another hour to 10 p.m. again, Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. And I told him it was okay. Fuzzy told him I think it was okay. So I think we're a go Saturday night, but we should be. Best way to end your Saturday night, the Shop Podcast. Of course, PTK Blam's channel, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Be there for that. Again, just have us on in the background. Easy 2 hours, man. Just an easy 2 hours. So just be there for that. And then, of course, next week it starts all over again. Double Barrel Gaming is the channel. Mr. Boomstick is the man 5 days a week. But Tuesdays, it's All Good Things Green. Xbox Factor Podcast, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Check that out. But my week will start right here, Thursday, God willing, with this man right here, PM to PM, every Thursday on the Fun Speculation Network, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. Of course, you guys know how to find me, Pong Soul, everywhere. Otherwise, it's the golden age of gaming, people. So please get out there, play what you love what you play. And I'm going to talk to you all real soon. Thanks again, everybody. Mav, get us out of here, brother.
Have a good one. Good night. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.
Appreciate you all. Thanks, Poison. Good night, OCD.